How Stoicism teaches you to love freely and fearlessly. Love, a word we throw around effortlessly. A concept we chase, often desperately. A force that builds and destroys, elevates and humiliates. We say we want it. We fear losing it. We let it define us, consume us, break us. But what if we've been doing it wrong all along? What if love, true love, has nothing to do with possession? The ancient Stoics saw love not as something to clutch tightly in trembling hands but as something to give freely, fearlessly. They believed love is not a transaction, not a contract, not a prison. It is not something we demand, nor something we should be afraid to lose. Instead, they saw love as an extension of our character, an act of pure will, a force of nature flowing through us, only truly meaningful when it is given without expectation, without attachment, without fear. But how can we do this? How can we love in a way that is powerful yet untamed, deep yet unshaken, intense yet unafraid? Let's begin. Imagine you're in love. Maybe you are right now. Maybe you remember the feeling, the spark, the longing, the sheer joy of being seen. But with that love comes a creeping fear. What if they leave? What if I'm not enough? What if this doesn't last? That fear, the Stoics believed, is what corrupts love at its core. Because it turns love into something external, something dependent on others, something fragile, something that can be taken away. Epictetus, one of the great Stoic philosophers, said, "When you are delighted with anything, be not carried away by the appearance, but say, 'It is beloved, but it is mortal.'" Think about that. Every love, no matter how passionate, no matter how perfect, is mortal. Every relationship will end, either in separation or in death. This is not pessimism, it is reality. And yet, we fight it, we cling, we obsess, we let fear taint the beauty of love itself. But what if, instead, we embraced the temporary nature of love? What if we loved fully, knowing that it may not last forever, and in that acceptance, found a love purer, freer, stronger than we ever imagined? Because here's the paradox: the more we try to control love, the more we suffocate it. The more we try to possess another person, the more we push them away, the more we fear loss, the more we destroy the very thing we wish to keep. But if we let go, if we accept love's impermanence, if we focus not on keeping love but on being loving, then suddenly, love is no longer something we can lose. It is something we are. Marcus Aurelius wrote in his Meditations, "If you are distressed by anything external, it is not the thing itself that troubles you, but your judgment about it, and you have the power to revoke that judgment at any moment." Apply this to love. What if heartbreak is not the loss of love itself, but simply the story we tell ourselves about it? What if rejection, betrayal, or even death do not take love away, because love was never something outside of us in the first place? Now, let's test this. Think of someone you have loved deeply. Maybe they are still in your life. Maybe they are gone. Maybe they hurt you. Maybe they change. But ask yourself this: did their presence create love? Or was love something you gave? Something you felt? Something within you? If love comes from within you, then no one can take it away. And if no one can take it away, then why should we fear? But we do fear. We fear vulnerability. We fear being the one who loves more. We fear rejection, abandonment, disappointment. Seneca had an answer for this. "He who is brave is free." The greatest courage, he argued, is not the absence of fear, it is the ability to act despite it. And in love, the bravest thing we can do is love without needing to control the outcome. To give, not because we expect something in return, but because giving love is, in itself, an act of strength. So why do we fail? Why do we keep falling into the trap of fear, insecurity, and attachment? Because we confuse love with ownership. We think, "I love you, therefore you must love me back." We think, "I love you, therefore you should stay." We think, "I love you, therefore you should make me happy." But these are not statements of love. These are statements of control. True Stoic love says, "I love you, therefore I let you be free. I love you, therefore I accept what is, rather than demand what is not." I love you, therefore I focus on who I am, rather than what you should be. This is terrifying. Because it means giving up control. It means accepting that the person we love may change, may leave, may never return our love in the way we wish they would. It means embracing uncertainty, vulnerability, and impermanence. But in that surrender, we find something incredible. Freedom. A love that is not shackled by expectation. A love that does not shrink in the face of loss. A love that is fearless. Let's go deeper. Let's talk about suffering. We suffer in love not because of love itself, but because of our attachments to outcomes. We want them to love us back. We want them to stay. We want them to fulfill our needs, our dreams, our expectations. And when reality does not align with these desires, we suffer. But here's what the Stoics knew. Suffering is not caused by what happens to us. Suffering is caused by how we interpret what happens to us. The person who is left behind can either say, "This is proof that I was never enough," or, "This is proof that love is a gift, not a guarantee." The person who is betrayed can either say, "I was a fool to love," or, "I was brave to love, and I will love again." The person who loses someone they love to death can either say, "My life is over without them," or, "Their love will always be a part of me." Do you see the difference? One path leads to despair, the other leads to strength. And strength, the Stoics believed, is what makes love truly beautiful, because love should not weaken us. Love should empower us. Love should be an expression of our highest selves, not a desperate grasp at happiness. This does not mean we love less. It means we love more, without fear, without chains, without illusion. It means we love fully in the present moment, rather than constantly fearing the future. It means we love with open hands, rather than clenched fists. It means we love as the Stoics did, boldly, wisely, and with the understanding that true love is not something we demand from others. It is something we cultivate within ourselves. So ask yourself, if you were to love completely and fearlessly, with no expectation, no possession, no demand, how would that change you? Would you finally be free? The courage to love without attachment. Most of us say we want love, but what we truly seek is security. We don't just want someone to love, we want someone who will stay. Someone who will make us feel whole. Someone who will guarantee that we will never feel alone again. But let's ask ourselves a difficult question. Is that love? Or is that fear disguised as love? Because love, real love, is not about certainty. It is not about clinging to another person like a lifeboat in a storm. It is not about making them responsible for our happiness, nor about making ourselves the center of their world. Love is about giving. Fear is about keeping. Love is about expansion. Fear is about control. And here's the hardest truth. The more we try to hold on to love, the more we push it away. The Stoics understood this long before modern psychology did. Epictetus taught that nothing external, no person, no event, no circumstance, truly belongs to us. The only thing we own, the only thing we can control, is ourselves, our thoughts, our actions, our responses. This means that even in love, we own nothing, not the person we adore, not their feelings, not their future. We do not own their loyalty, nor their presence, nor their promises. This realization is terrifying at first, but it is also the key to loving without fear. Because if we do not own love, we cannot lose love. We can only experience it. Think about that. What if love is not something we possess, but something we participate in? What if love is like a river, flowing freely, touching us, nourishing us, and then moving on, not because it was taken from us, but because that is its nature? Wouldn't we be fools to try to trap the river in a glass and call it ours? Wouldn't it be wiser to stand in the water, to let it flow over us, to be grateful for every moment we get to feel its current? Seneca wrote, He who fears death will never act as a man who is alive. Now apply that to love. He who fears loss will never love as a man who is free. So the question is, do we want love, or do we want control? Because we cannot have both. Let's talk about attachment. It's easy to believe that love and attachment are the same thing. After all, isn't attachment natural? Isn't it human? Yes, but that doesn't mean it's wise. Imagine this. You hold a bird in your hands. You love it, you want it to stay with you. But you're afraid. What if it flies away? What if you lose it? So you close your fingers around it, tighten your grip, hold it so securely that it cannot escape. But in doing so, you crush it. This is what we do with love. We grasp, we cling, we demand, we turn love into an expectation, into an obligation, into a possession. And in doing so, we kill it. The Stoics understood this deeply. They taught that everything in life is borrowed. Not just love, but everything, our health, our wealth, our friendships, even our own lives. Nothing is permanent, nothing is guaranteed. And yet, we act as if love is the one exception. We believe that once we have it, we are entitled to keep it. But what if we approached love with a different mindset? What if we saw every moment of love as a gift, rather than a right? What if we treated love the way we treat a beautiful sunset, something to be experienced fully in the present, rather than something to hold on to, something to own? Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Receive without pride, let go without attachment." This is the key to loving freely. It is the ability to say, "I love you, not because you are mine, but because I am capable of love. I love you, not because you complete me, but because I choose to share my completeness with you. I love you, not because I need you, but because loving is part of who I am." When we love like this, we love without fear. Because we no longer need love to give us something. We are already whole. We are already enough. And here's the great irony. When we stop clinging to love, love stays. When we stop demanding love, love deepens. When we stop trying to own love, love becomes limitless. Because true love is never a prison. It is a gift, and gifts must be given freely. But what about heartbreak? Even if we love without attachment, without expectation, without fear, won't we still feel pain when love ends? Yes, of course. The Stoics never denied pain. They never preached emotional numbness. What they did teach was that pain is a part of life. But suffering is a choice. When we lose someone we love, whether to distance, to time, to death, we will feel sorrow. That is natural. That is human. But suffering? Suffering comes when we resist reality. When we tell ourselves, this should not have happened. This was not supposed to end. I cannot accept this. Suffering is the gap between reality and our expectations. But if we embrace impermanence, if we accept that love, like all things, comes and goes, then we feel the pain. But we do not suffer. We grieve, but we are not destroyed. Because we understand that love is not something we ever truly lose. The time we spent with them was real. The love we felt was real. And that love, that experience, will always be a part of us. Nothing can take that away. Not time. Not distance. Not even death. Seneca wrote, "What need is there to weep over parts of life? The whole of it calls for tears." Life itself is fleeting. Everything we love will one day be gone. And yet, life is still beautiful. Because beauty is found not in permanence, but in presence. In living fully. In loving completely. In accepting reality as it is. So if love is fleeting, should we fear it? Should we avoid it? Should we guard our hearts so that we never have to feel pain? No, that would be the greatest mistake of all. Because to love is to be alive. And to love without fear, that is true freedom. So ask yourself, are you willing to love in a way that is bold, fearless, unattached? Are you willing to embrace love as an experience, rather than a possession? Are you willing to love, not because you need something in return, but because love itself is an act of strength? Because if you are, you will never fear love again. You will only ever feel its power. The art of loving like a stoic, strength, serenity, and ultimate freedom. You are here because you want to understand how to love freely, fearlessly, without the burden of attachment, without the agony of loss, without the chains of insecurity. You are here because you know, deep down, that love is meant to be expansive, not restrictive, liberating, not suffocating. And yet, we still struggle, we still hesitate, we still find ourselves clinging, fearing, expecting. Why? Because we are human. Because our instincts tell us to grasp tightly what we cherish. Because we have been taught to equate love with possession, with dependence, with a sense of certainty that love itself never promises. But the Stoics knew something most people don't. They knew that love is not something you find. Love is not something you receive. Love is not even something that is given to you. Love is something you are. It is not in the hands of others. It is not something the world grants you. It is not something that can be stolen, lost, or taken away. Love is an internal force, and because it comes from within you, it can never truly be lost. Let's put this to the test. Imagine the person you love most in this world. Maybe it's your partner. Maybe it's a parent. Maybe it's a friend, a child, a mentor. Now imagine they disappear from your life tomorrow. Not because of anything cruel or unjust, just because that is the nature of life. Would you still love them? Would that love still exist within you, even if they were gone? If the answer is yes, then love was never about them. Love was about you. It always was. This is where most people get love wrong. They think love is something external, something outside of themselves, something that happens to them rather than something they cultivate within themselves. This is why people suffer when love changes, when people leave, when relationships shift. Because they believe love has been taken away. But the Stoics saw love differently. They saw it as an internal state of being, a way of interacting with the world, not a fragile gift that could be lost, but a wellspring that never runs dry. Seneca said, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." And this is especially true in love. We fear losing someone before we've even lost them. We fear rejection before we've even been rejected. We fear the end of a relationship before it's even begun. And in doing so, we poison love with anxiety, insecurity, and control. But what if we change that? What if, instead of fearing loss, we embraced love's impermanence? What if, instead of clinging to love, we let it move freely, without force, without demand, without the need to control its course? What if, instead of trying to keep love, we focused only on being loving? This is where true freedom begins. And this is where the real art of Stoic love reveals itself. Step 1. Master your own heart. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." The first mistake people make in love is believing that their happiness depends on someone else. This is an illusion. The moment you place your emotional well-being in someone else's hands, you have lost control. And the moment you lose control, fear sets in. The fear of being left. The fear of being unloved. The fear of being not enough. But what if you took back that power? What if you made your own heart your own responsibility? What if you decided, right now, that your ability to love is a reflection of you, not a response to how others treat you? If you did that, you would never fear love again. Because love would no longer be something you need to receive. It would be something you are. Step 2. Let love flow, without ownership. Imagine a candle. Its flame does not shrink when it lights another candle. It does not demand that the other candle remain beside it forever. It simply burns, without fear, without expectation, without need. This is how a Stoic loves. They do not try to keep the flame in a glass box, fearing it will blow out. They let it burn. They let it warm. They let it illuminate. And when it is time, they let it go. Ask yourself, do you love in a way that is light and free? Or do you love in a way that is heavy and binding? Because love cannot be owned. And the moment we try to own it, we lose it. Step 3. Accept that love will change, and that's okay. Everything in life changes. Your mind, your body, your circumstances, and yes, your love. What was once fiery may become quiet. What was once close may become distant. What was once new may become old. This is not a tragedy. This is life. But most people resist this. They want love to stay the same. They want it to always feel like the beginning. They want it to never waver, never shift, never take a different shape. But that is not how love works. And that is why so many people suffer in love. Because they are clinging to what was, instead of embracing what is. The Stoics taught that change is not something to be feared. It is something to be accepted. So instead of mourning love when it changes, what if we appreciated it for what it was? What if we loved the moment, rather than fearing the future? What if we saw love not as a thing to be kept, but as an experience to be fully lived, moment by moment? If we did that, we would never suffer again. We would only ever feel gratitude. This is the ultimate lesson of Stoic love. Love is not about what you get. Love is not about what you keep. Love is not about what lasts. Love is about who you are. And the freer you love, the stronger you love, the less you fear in love, the more love will flow through your life, endlessly. Because love is not something that comes to you. It is something that comes from you. And that is something no one, not time, not distance, not rejection, not even death, can ever take away. So ask yourself, are you ready to love like this? Are you ready to let go of fear, of control, of attachment? Are you ready to love, not because you need to, but because you choose to? Because if you are, you will never need to chase love again. It will already be within you. Forever. This is how Stoicism teaches you to love freely and fearlessly.
The 7 people Stoicism says are draining your energy and how to spot them. Imagine this. You're walking into your day carrying nothing but your thoughts and intentions. You've planned everything, your tasks, your goals, even the mindset you'll hold through challenges. But by the time evening rolls around, you feel drained, scattered, and unsure where your energy even went. It's as if unseen hands have been siphoning your strength all day. What if I told you those hands belong to specific types of people, and that Stoicism, this ancient, timeless philosophy, has already identified them for us? Now, here's the real question. What would your life look like if you stopped letting these people drain your energy? Let's journey together and find out. Stoicism teaches us that the most powerful resource we possess is our energy, our mental clarity, emotional resilience, and will to act. It's not something you can afford to waste. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, said it best. You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think. Yet, most of us spend this finite energy on people who erode our peace, leaving us feeling powerless. Who are these people? How do we recognize them? And most importantly, how do we protect ourselves? Let's uncover the first of these 7 types. The first group is the perpetual victims. You know, the ones, they believe the universe has conspired against them. Every inconvenience is a catastrophe. Every problem is someone else's fault. and they invite you to carry their burdens as if it's your job. Now, empathy is essential, but the Stoics remind us to draw a line. Epictetus said, "We are disturbed not by things, but by the views we take of them." If you constantly absorb their worldview, you begin to see life through their lens. Heavy, hopeless, and draining. Ask yourself, are you enabling their victimhood, or are you encouraging their growth? Because there's a fine line between being compassionate and being consumed. The next time you encounter someone who thrives on drama, pause. Don't engage with their emotional chaos. Observe it. Marcus Aurelius urged us to look at things as they are, not as they're dramatized. What if, instead of reacting to their negativity, you offered them a chance to rise above it? Then, there's the chronic complainer. They're like the perpetual victim's cousin, always dissatisfied, always finding fault. Life, to them, is a constant parade of inconveniences. The weather's too hot, the coffee's too cold, and no effort, no matter how thoughtful, is ever enough. Complaining is contagious, and before you know it, you're echoing their dissatisfaction with your own life. The Stoics warn against this because it takes you away from what truly matters, your own response to circumstances. Think about this. Are their complaints reshaping your gratitude? If so, you need to fortify your mind. Epictetus reminds us, don't explain your philosophy, embody it. The next time someone complains about trivialities, respond by embodying appreciation. Let them see what it looks like to find joy in the moment, even when it's imperfect. That's the kind of energy worth sharing. The third group, the manipulative charmer. They seem harmless at first, flattering you, building you up, making you feel special, but their intentions aren't pure. They aim to control you, to make you serve their agenda, often at the cost of your own values and energy. Manipulation thrives on your fear of rejection, your desire for approval, and your willingness to please. Seneca wrote, "Associate with people who are likely to improve you." So, ask yourself, is this person bringing out your best self? Or are they subtly bending you to their will? True friends inspire your growth. Manipulators stunt it. The moment you recognize their tactics, reclaim your autonomy. Don't seek their validation. Seek your truth. Next, we meet the unyielding cynic. These are the people who dismiss every idea, every dream, every glimmer of hope. To them, optimism is naive, and passion is pointless. They'll mock your aspirations, not out of malice but out of their own unresolved fears. And if you let their negativity seep into your soul, you'll start doubting your own capacity for greatness. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. Cynics see obstacles as dead ends. Stoics see them as opportunities. The next time you encounter a cynic, challenge their worldview not by arguing but by living boldly. Let your actions demonstrate what's possible when you refuse to be limited by fear. And now, let's address the gossip monger. They thrive on tearing others down, spreading half-truths, and turning private matters into public scandals. Engaging with gossip might feel harmless, even entertaining, but the Stoics caution us against it. Why? Because it diverts our focus from our own development. Epictetus said, "If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid." What he meant is this: let others waste their energy on petty talk while you channel yours into meaningful action. Think about the last time you indulged in gossip. Did it uplift you? Did it bring clarity or purpose to your day? Or did it leave you feeling hollow, complicit in something small and unworthy? The choice to engage or abstain defines the strength of your character. Then, there's the relentless critic. Unlike the cynic, whose negativity is generalized, the critic targets you directly. They dissect your choices, your ideas, even your appearance. Some critics believe they're helping, while others simply project their insecurities onto you. Either way, their words can plant seeds of self-doubt if you're not vigilant. Seneca reminds us, as long as you live, keep learning how to live. Critics can be teachers, but only if you approach them with discernment. When criticized, ask yourself, is there truth here I can learn from? Or is this noise I need to discard? Your energy is too precious to waste on unfounded opinions. Finally, we confront the time thief. This is the person who demands your attention without offering anything meaningful in return. They interrupt, they distract, and they derail your focus with their trivialities. In a world where our time is finite, Stoicism urges us to guard it fiercely. Marcus Aurelius said, "You could be good today, but instead, you choose tomorrow." Time thieves tempt you into believing you'll always have more time. But the truth is, every moment spent frivolously is a moment stolen from your purpose. Here's a question. How many of your days have been lost to distractions that weren't even yours? And how would your life change if you reclaimed that time? Each of these 7 types is a mirror, reflecting not only their own weaknesses but also the areas where we might be vulnerable. As we recognize them, we also recognize the power within ourselves to set boundaries, to act with intention, and to protect our energy. This is the essence of Stoicism, mastering ourselves so that no one else can master us. But what if there's an 8th type? One that's not as obvious but equally draining? Would you be able to spot it in time? Let's dive deeper into this unseen challenge in the next part. The invisible 8th. How the Stoics help us spot what even we miss. If you've come this far, you're already sharpening your perception. You've begun to see the people who drain your energy for what they are, patterns that, when left unchecked, can rob you of your vitality and focus. But Stoicism asks us to go even deeper. Beyond the obvious culprits, there exists another type of energy drain, one so subtle, so camouflaged, that we often fail to notice it until we're exhausted. To understand this hidden enemy, we must first turn inward. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." What if the most insidious energy drainer isn't a person, but an internal condition, a mental habit we nurture, unaware of its slow erosion? Let's explore this unseen 8th type together. The 8th type isn't a person at all, it's the unchecked inner critic. Unlike the relentless critic, who targets you from the outside, this voice comes from within. It whispers doubts in your quietest moments, magnifies your mistakes, and convinces you that you're never enough. This inner critic thrives on comparison. It looks at others' successes and turns them into reasons for your inadequacy. But here's the irony. The Stoics knew that this voice is both a foe and a friend, depending on how you respond. Epictetus said, "First, say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do." What if you could redirect this critical voice into a constructive one? The next time you hear it whispering, ask, is this criticism helping me grow, or is it simply tearing me down? By reframing the inner critic, you transform it from a drain into a source of clarity. Let's return now to the external world and revisit the 7 types we've uncovered. Here's something profound. Each of these types reveals not only the faults of others, but also the vulnerabilities within ourselves. The Stoics believed in the interconnectedness of all human behavior. If you're constantly encountering the perpetual victim, for instance, ask yourself, do I struggle with boundaries? Am I taking on burdens that aren't mine to carry? Marcus Aurelius reminds us, waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. This principle applies to every type we've discussed. The chronic complainer invites us to reflect on our gratitude. The manipulative charmer exposes where we seek external validation. The unyielding cynic challenges us to stand firm in our optimism. Each energy drainer becomes a test, a chance to apply the Stoic virtues of wisdom, courage, temperance, and justice. Here's a question to sit with. What would happen if you stopped trying to change these people and instead focused entirely on your own growth? This isn't about giving up on others. It's about recognizing that the only person you can truly control is yourself. Epictetus said, "It is not events that disturb people, but their judgments about them." If you can master your judgments, you can remain unshaken, no matter who you encounter. This brings us to an essential practice in Stoicism, the dichotomy of control. Simply put, this is the distinction between what you can control and what you cannot. The Stoics urge us to invest our energy solely in the former. Let's apply this principle to each of the energy drainers. For example, when faced with a time thief, you cannot control their interruptions, but you can control your response. Perhaps that means setting firmer boundaries or even stepping away from the relationship. With the gossip monger, you can't stop their chatter, but you can choose not to participate. By focusing on what's within your power, you conserve energy and reclaim agency. At this point, you might wonder, isn't this approach isolating? If we're always guarding our energy, aren't we cutting ourselves off from connection? This is where the Stoic concept of sympathia comes into play. Sympathia is the understanding that we are all part of a greater whole. It reminds us that while we must protect our energy, we also have a responsibility to uplift others. The key is balance. You can show compassion to the perpetual victim without being consumed by their problems. You can listen to the chronic complainer without echoing their dissatisfaction. You can even engage with the cynic, not to change their mind but to reinforce your own. Sympathia doesn't mean sacrificing your well-being for others. It means acting from a place of strength and clarity, so your presence becomes a source of light rather than a shadow. Let's pause here for a thought experiment. Imagine you're sitting across from Marcus Aurelius himself. He looks at you and asks, "What have you done today to master your mind?" How would you answer him? Could you point to moments where you guarded your energy, where you chose courage over fear, wisdom over impulse, and temperance over indulgence? Or would you find yourself fumbling for an explanation, realizing how much of your day was spent on the wrong things? This isn't meant to shame you. It's an invitation to reflect, to recalibrate, and to act with intention. The Stoics believed that every day is a new opportunity to align with your values. No matter how much energy you've lost in the past, you can always start anew. In the next part, we'll dive into the ultimate Stoic tools for protecting your energy, practical strategies you can implement immediately, rooted in ancient wisdom but tailored for the modern world. These tools aren't just for dealing with the 7 people and the hidden eighth. They're for navigating every relationship, challenge, and decision you encounter. What would it feel like to wake up each day knowing your energy is protected, your mind is clear, and your actions are aligned with your purpose? Let's explore this together in the final part. The final shield, Stoic tools to protect your energy in a chaotic world. Now that we've unmasked the 7 energy drainers and the hidden eighth, it's time to equip ourselves with tools to guard against their influence. Stoicism isn't about shutting yourself off from the world. It's about living in it with resilience, clarity, and purpose. Marcus Aurelius called this living according to nature, embracing life's complexities while staying rooted in your principles. Let's explore the practical strategies Stoicism offers for protecting your energy. Starting today, the first tool is the dichotomy of control, which we touched on earlier but now expand into a daily practice. Here's how it works. Every time you encounter an energy-draining person, pause and ask yourself 2 questions. First, what about this situation is within my control? Second, what is beyond my control? By doing this, you immediately shift from reaction to reflection. For example, when dealing with a chronic complainer, you can't control their negativity, but you can control whether you listen, how you respond, and what energy you allow them to take. This clarity transforms frustration into empowerment. Here's a challenge. The next time someone frustrates you, resist the urge to react immediately. Instead, breathe, observe, and decide, how much of your energy do they truly deserve? What would happen if you chose silence over engagement? Peace over friction? The second tool is negative visualization. This is the Stoic practice of imagining worst-case scenarios to build resilience and gratitude. First, it might seem counterintuitive, why think about negative outcomes? But consider this, when you prepare your mind for adversity, you make yourself less vulnerable to energy drainers. For example, if you visualize a meeting where the manipulative charmer tries to sway you, you can rehearse your boundaries beforehand. When the moment comes, their charm has no power because you've already anticipated it. Negative visualization isn't about pessimism. It's about readiness. When you picture life's challenges, you learn to see them not as threats but as opportunities to grow. And when you rehearse gratitude for what you already have, you fortify your energy against external forces. Next, we have mindful detachment, the art of stepping back from your emotions to observe them without judgment. Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Mindful detachment allows you to pause before emotions like anger, frustration, or sadness take over. Let's say you're confronted by a relentless critic who picks apart your work. Instead of internalizing their words, step back and view the situation as if you're an outsider. Ask, is this critique valuable? Or is it noise I can discard? This small pause creates space for wisdom to emerge. Try this exercise. The next time you feel an emotional reaction rising, label it. Say, this is anger or this is frustration. Naming the emotion diminishes its power and helps you respond from a place of reason, not impulse. Another essential tool is setting boundaries with clarity. The Stoics valued honesty and directness, not as weapons but as shields. When dealing with energy drainers, boundaries are your first line of defense. For example, if a gossip monger tries to draw you into their chatter, you can say, "I'd rather focus on something constructive." This isn't rude. It's respectful to both them and yourself. Here's a question. How many of your relationships lack clear boundaries? And how would your life change if you established them today? Remember, boundaries aren't walls, they're gates. They protect your energy while allowing meaningful connections to thrive. Stoicism also teaches us the power of journaling for reflection. Marcus Aurelius' Meditations is essentially a journal, a place where he reflected on his thoughts, actions, and challenges. Journaling helps you process encounters with energy drainers, identify patterns, and refine your responses. Each evening, take 5 minutes to ask yourself, what drained my energy today? How did I handle it? What can I do differently tomorrow? Over time, these reflections become a guide for living with greater intentionality. If you're skeptical, consider this. What's the cost of not reflecting? Without awareness, you repeat the same mistakes, letting the same people drain you. Journaling isn't just a practice. It's a declaration of your commitment to growth. Let's explore one of the most profound Stoic tools, voluntary discomfort. This involves intentionally stepping into challenging situations to build resilience. Why? Because when you train yourself to endure discomfort, energy drainers lose their power over you. For example, if you practice silence for a day, you'll find it easier to disengage from the perpetual victim's endless complaints. If you endure physical challenges, like cold showers or fasting, the unyielding cynic's negativity feels insignificant by comparison. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Voluntary discomfort reveals just how much strength you already possess, making you less susceptible to external drains. Now, let's talk about sympathia, the Stoic practice of seeing ourselves as part of a greater whole. When you recognize that even energy drainers are struggling with their own challenges, it becomes easier to approach them with compassion rather than frustration. This doesn't mean tolerating their behavior. It means understanding it without letting it consume you. Imagine this. What if you viewed the chronic complainer not as a nuisance but as a mirror, reflecting the parts of yourself that need more gratitude? What if you saw the manipulative charmer as a lesson in self-trust? By reframing your perspective, you turn every encounter into an opportunity for growth. Finally, we come to the Stoic trichotomy of choice. This is the idea that every situation presents 3 choices. Accept it, change it, or leave it. When dealing with energy drainers, this framework becomes a compass. If you can accept their behavior without losing your peace, do so. If you can influence them for the better, try. And if neither is possible, leave the situation without guilt. Think about a relationship in your life that drains you. Have you been trying to change what you should accept, or clinging to what you should leave? The Stoics remind us that clarity of choice is the foundation of a peaceful life. As we conclude, let's reflect on a question that cuts to the heart of Stoicism. Are you the master of your energy, or are you letting others master it for you? This isn't a rhetorical question. It's an invitation to action. Every tool we've discussed, from the dichotomy of control to sympathia, is a step toward reclaiming your power. Remember, the goal of Stoicism isn't to eliminate challenges or difficult people. It's to navigate them with grace, courage, and wisdom. When you protect your energy, you don't just improve your own life, you become a source of strength for others. And in doing so, you embody the very essence of Stoic philosophy, living in harmony with yourself and the world. Now, what will you do with this wisdom? How will you protect your energy? Starting today, as Marcus Aurelius might say, the time is now. Let your actions reflect the person you aspire to be. Empowering Stoic choices to transform your life starting now. What if I told you that the power to master your life isn't in some external force, some future event, or even someone else's hands, but already within you? Imagine this. You've just lost your job. Your closest friend betrayed you, and your future seems like a haze of uncertainty. In that moment, most of us spiral. But what if you could face it all? Not with despair, but with unshakable clarity and strength? Today, we're diving deep into Stoicism, an ancient philosophy that offers us modern tools for resilience and transformation. Let's start with 10 Stoic choices that can reshape your life starting today. Now ask yourself this: what's stopping you from becoming unshakable? Stoicism, at its core, is a guide to living well, a toolkit for navigating chaos without losing yourself. Founded by Zeno of Citium in ancient Greece, this philosophy was embraced by emperors like Marcus Aurelius, playwrights like Seneca, and even former slaves like Epictetus. Their lives were riddled with challenges, war, exile, betrayal, and yet they found peace by focusing on what they could control and letting go of what they couldn't. And this is where your transformation begins. The first Stoic choice: choose control over reaction. Let's be honest. How often do you let other people's words or actions ruin your day? Your coworker's offhand comment, the stranger who cuts you off in traffic, tiny sparks igniting wildfires of frustration. Epictetus reminds us, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Imagine carrying that truth with you everywhere. Next time anger flares up, pause. Ask yourself, am I choosing this reaction? Or is this reaction choosing me? Master your reaction, and you master your emotions. The second choice: embrace discomfort as a path to growth. Here's a story. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher king, faced endless battles, political turmoil, and personal tragedy. Yet, he wrote in his Meditations, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." Think about this. Every obstacle you face is a chance to sharpen yourself. That uncomfortable conversation you're avoiding, the failure you're too afraid to risk, they are not barriers but bridges if you let them be. When was the last time you leaned into discomfort instead of running from it? The third choice: prioritize what's within your control. Most of us spend our days worrying about things we cannot influence: the economy, the opinions of others, the weather. Seneca, the Roman Stoic, warns us, "He who suffers before it is necessary, suffers more than is necessary." Picture your life as two circles, one small, containing what you control, your actions, your thoughts, the other vast, filled with everything else. Focus on the smaller circle, and you'll find freedom. A practical exercise? Each morning, list what's in your control today. At night, reflect. Did I honor my part? The fourth choice, detach from the outcome. Commit to the effort. Let's talk about failure. You've poured your heart into a project, only for it to flop. You feel like the world's biggest loser. But what if you reframe success? The Stoics teach us that the only failure is failing to try. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, perform every action as though it were your last. Focus on doing your best, not obsessing over what happens next. Detachment isn't giving up. It's letting go of what you don't control. What if you define success not by results, but by effort? The fifth choice, practice gratitude daily. Here's a tough pill to swallow. Your life, right now, is someone else's dream. It's easy to take things for granted, your health, your relationships, even your morning coffee. The Stoics were masters of gratitude. Seneca advised us to regularly reflect on life's blessings, even imagining losing them to appreciate them more deeply. Tonight, before you sleep, try this. Name 3 things you're grateful for. Not big things, small ones, like the sound of rain or the warmth of your bed. Over time, this practice rewires your mind to see abundance instead of lack. The sixth choice, live as if your time is limited. Picture this, you're told you have 1 year left to live. Would you spend it complaining, procrastinating, arguing over trivial matters? Seneca wrote, "Life is long if you know how to use it." The truth is, we're all racing against the clock, but few of us act like it. Start each day by asking, if today were my last, what would truly matter? Let that guide your choices. The seventh choice, align your actions with your values. One of Stoicism's greatest lessons is the importance of living authentically. Marcus Aurelius urges us, waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. Think about your daily decisions. Do they reflect your core values? Or are they shaped by fear, greed, or the need to fit in? Integrity isn't a grand gesture. It's 1,000 small choices made every day. Choose to align your actions with the person you want to be, and watch your self-respect soar. Who are you when no one else is watching? The eighth choice, see adversity as a teacher. Life will knock you down, there's no escaping it. But every hardship carries a hidden lesson. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. A breakup teaches you resilience. A failed business, it sharpens your strategy. The lesson is always there, waiting. The question is, will you look for it? The ninth choice, simplify your desires. The modern world bombards us with messages that we need more money, more possessions, more success. But the Stoics knew better. Epictetus wrote, wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. Strip away the excess, and you'll find clarity. Next time you're tempted to buy something, ask, does this truly add value to my life? Or am I filling a void? The 10th choice, practice kindness. No matter what, here's the ultimate paradox of strength. True power lies in gentleness. Marcus Aurelius often reminded himself to act with compassion, even toward those who wronged him. The best revenge, he wrote, is not to be like your enemy. Choose kindness not because the world deserves it, but because you deserve the peace it brings. As we reach this turning point, let me ask you, which of these choices will you make today? The Stoic blueprint for resilience and freedom. Have you ever felt trapped by your circumstances, by your emotions, by the relentless demands of the world? Stoicism isn't just a philosophy. It's a key to freedom. Freedom not from life's challenges, but from the unnecessary suffering we create by resisting them. In this part, we'll uncover how to apply Stoic wisdom to unlock resilience and reclaim your inner peace. But before we begin, Let me ask, what would your life look like if nothing could disturb your inner calm? To build resilience, we must first understand the nature of control. Imagine this: you're standing in the middle of a storm. The winds tear at your clothes. The rain lashes your face. You can't stop the storm, but you can decide how you stand within it. This is the essence of the Stoic dichotomy of control. Focus on what you can change, and release the rest. But how do we practice this in daily life? Start with small things. When your plans fall apart, pause, breathe. Instead of lamenting, ask, what can I do now? Each time you choose to respond, rather than react, you're building the muscle of resilience. Another cornerstone of Stoic freedom is acceptance. This doesn't mean passive surrender, but active acknowledgement of reality. Picture a river. When you resist its flow, you tire yourself out. When you move with it, you conserve energy and navigate more effectively. Seneca said, "Fate leads the willing and drags the unwilling." Take a moment to reflect. What are you resisting in your life right now? The Stoics teach us to accept what is, without bitterness or denial. This is not weakness, it's strength. It frees us to focus on what truly matters: our character, our decisions, our actions. Now let's talk about perception. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, if you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself but your estimate of it. Your mind is a lens through which you see the world. If the lens is dirty, clouded by fear, anger, or self-pity, you'll see problems everywhere. Clean the lens, and the same world becomes full of opportunities. Here's a practical exercise. When you encounter a setback, pause and reframe. Instead of saying, "Why is this happening to me?" ask, "What is this teaching me?" This simple shift can transform adversity into a stepping stone. True freedom also requires letting go of attachment. We cling to things, jobs, relationships, possessions because we believe they define us. But the Stoics saw attachment as a trap. Epictetus advises, "Don't seek for things to happen as you wish. Wish for things to happen as they do, and you will find serenity." Imagine holding a handful of sand. The tighter you grip, the more it slips through your fingers. Now imagine opening your hand. The sand rests there freely, without struggle. This is the power of non-attachment. Practice it by asking yourself, if I lost this today, would I still be okay? One of the most profound Stoic lessons is the concept of amor fati, loving your fate. It's not enough to accept life. We must embrace it, with all its imperfections. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "A blazing fire makes flame and brightness out of everything that is thrown into it." Think of your life as a fire. Every challenge, every heartbreak, every failure, it's fuel. The question is, will you let it consume you, or will you use it to burn brighter? Resilience also depends on knowing your purpose. The Stoics believed that every person has a role in the grand order of the universe, a unique contribution only they can make. Marcus Aurelius urged himself daily, at dawn, when you have trouble getting out of bed, tell yourself, "I am rising to do the work of a human being." What is your work? What gives your life meaning? Write it down. Keep it where you can see it. Let it guide your decisions. Now, let's address fear, the ultimate thief of freedom. Fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of the unknown. Epictetus tells us, men are disturbed not by things, but by the views they take of them. Fear thrives in the shadows of our imagination, growing stronger the longer we avoid it. The Stoic antidote? Face it head on. Seneca practiced premeditatio malorum, imagining worst-case scenarios to prepare himself. Try it. What's the worst that could happen? How would you handle it? Often, you'll find that the fear itself is far worse than the reality. A resilient mind also needs discipline. Marcus Aurelius described himself as his own harshest critic, constantly holding himself to higher standards. But this wasn't about self-punishment. It was about self-mastery. Discipline, the Stoics teach us, is the bridge between intention and action. Start small. Commit to a daily practice, whether it's journaling, exercise, or meditation. The act of showing up, even when you don't feel like it, strengthens your willpower. And remember, discipline isn't about being perfect. It's about being consistent. Freedom requires simplicity. The modern world glorifies busyness, but the Stoics valued focus. Seneca wrote, "Life is not short if you know how to use it." How much of your time is spent on things that don't matter? Social media, endless emails, mindless entertainment, they clutter your mind and drain your energy. Take a hard look at your priorities. What can you eliminate? What deserves your attention? Simplifying isn't just about doing less. It's about doing what aligns with your values. Finally, resilience flourishes in community. The Stoics knew we're stronger together. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself, "We are made for cooperation, like feet, like hands, like eyelids." Freedom doesn't mean isolating yourself. It means building relationships based on mutual respect and support. Who in your life lifts you up? Who challenges you to grow? Invest in those connections. And remember, kindness is the glue of community. Each act of compassion, no matter how small, strengthens the bonds that hold us together. Freedom isn't the absence of challenges. It's the presence of a mind that can face them with courage, clarity, and grace. Resilience isn't built overnight. It's a choice you make, again and again. The question is, will you make that choice? The eternal Stoic practice, mastering the art of living. Imagine walking through life with the unshakable confidence that no matter what happens, success or failure, joy or pain, you will remain steadfast, free, and in control. Stoicism isn't just a philosophy to study, it's a way of life. In this final part, we'll explore how to make Stoicism an enduring practice, a compass that guides you through every decision, every challenge, every triumph. But first, let me ask, what does it mean to truly live, to master the art of living? Start with self-awareness. The Stoics emphasized that a life unexamined is a life wasted. Marcus Aurelius journaled daily, reflecting on his actions, thoughts, and emotions. He wrote, "Look within. Within is the fountain of good, and it will ever bubble up if you will ever dig." Try this. At the end of each day, ask yourself 3 questions. What did I do well today? What could I have done better? What will I improve tomorrow? This habit, simple yet profound, will help you align your actions with your values and grow into the person you aspire to be. Next, cultivate equanimity. Life will test you with highs and lows, but the Stoics teach us to remain steady. Epictetus likened life to a banquet. When the dish is passed to you, extend your hand and take a portion with moderation. If it passes you by, do not stop it. If it has not yet come, do not stretch your desire toward it, but wait until it reaches you. Imagine celebrating your successes without arrogance and enduring your failures without despair. How? By remembering that neither defines you. The world is transient, ever-changing. True peace comes from anchoring yourself in what is constant, your character, your choices, your inner strength. To live fully, embrace mindful presence. Marcus Aurelius urged, confine yourself to the present. How often do we waste energy dwelling on the past or worrying about the future? The Stoics remind us that the only moment we truly have is now. Here's a practice. Throughout your day, pause and ask yourself, what is happening right now? Notice the sensations, the sounds, the people around you. Engage fully with the present. This is where life happens, not in regrets or anticipation, but in this very moment. A cornerstone of Stoic living is service to others. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "What is your vocation? To be a good person." The Stoics believed that our highest purpose is to contribute to the greater good. This doesn't mean grand gestures. It means daily acts of kindness, integrity, and generosity. Who can you help today? A colleague struggling with a task? A stranger needing a kind word? Each small action adds up, creating a ripple effect that extends far beyond what you can see. Now let's discuss facing mortality. Few things clarify life's priorities like contemplating its end. Seneca advised, "Let us prepare our minds as if we'd come to the very end of life. Let us postpone nothing. Let us balance life's books each day." This isn't morbid, it's empowering. Imagine living each day as if it were your last. Not in recklessness, but in full awareness. Would you waste time on trivial arguments? Would you delay expressing love or gratitude? Let this thought guide you. What would I do if today were my final day? Another essential practice is detaching from ego. Marcus Aurelius constantly reminded himself of his own mortality and insignificance. Soon you will have forgotten the world, and soon the world will have forgotten you. Ego blinds us, leading to pride, anger, and conflict. The Stoics teach us to see beyond ourselves, to recognize that we are part of something larger. The next time you feel slighted or offended, pause, ask yourself, does this matter in the grand scheme of things? You'll often find that it doesn't. Stoicism also teaches us to find joy in simplicity. Seneca wrote, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more. That is poor." Modern life tempts us with endless desires, but true contentment comes from appreciating what we already have. Start small. Spend a day without indulging in luxuries. Cook a simple meal. Walk instead of driving. Notice how much you can enjoy with so little. This practice not only fosters gratitude but also builds resilience. You'll realize how little you truly need to be happy. To master the art of living, embrace radical accountability. Epictetus said, "You are responsible for your own soul." This means owning your choices, your actions, your life. No more blaming others or circumstances. No more excuses. When something goes wrong, resist the urge to point fingers. Instead, ask, what could I have done differently? This mindset isn't about self-blame, it's about empowerment. When you take responsibility, you take control. Another vital practice is seeking wisdom. The Stoics believed that learning never ends. Marcus Aurelius, despite being an emperor, considered himself a student of philosophy. He wrote, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." What are you feeding your mind? Make a habit of reading, reflecting, and engaging with ideas that challenge and inspire you. Surround yourself with people who encourage growth. Remember, wisdom isn't just knowledge, it's the ability to apply it. Finally, the Stoic life is about constant renewal. Each day is a chance to start again, to improve, to grow. Marcus Aurelius began each morning with the reminder, begin each day as if it were on purpose. Think of your life as a garden. It needs daily tending, planting seeds of good habits, weeding out negativity, watering your goals with effort and persistence. The question is, what kind of garden do you want to grow? Life isn't a straight path. It's a series of choices. Every day, every moment, you have the power to choose how you respond, how you grow, how you live. Stoicism isn't about becoming perfect. It's about becoming better, one choice at a time. So now I ask you, what will you choose today? Embrace 50 concise Stoic rules for a better, more meaningful life. Imagine standing in the middle of a hurricane. The winds are screaming, the rain lashes your skin, and the ground beneath your feet threatens to give way. Everything around you is chaos, yet, in the center of it all, there's calm, a quiet, unshaken core. That's the essence of Stoicism. And what if I told you that you, too, could find that unshakable calm, no matter the storms you face in life? This video isn't just about ancient philosophy. It's a guide, a blueprint for living a life that is resilient, meaningful, and profoundly free. Together, we'll walk through 50 Stoic rules, distilled wisdom from centuries of practice that will challenge the way you think, reshape the way you act, and, most importantly, transform the way you live. Let's begin with a question. What would your life look like if you let go of all the things you can't control? Rule 1. Understand the dichotomy of control. Epictetus taught us a simple but life-changing idea. There are things you can control and things you cannot. Imagine wasting energy on the latter like trying to control the weather. How many hours, days, years of your life are spent fretting over things beyond your grasp? The key is to focus entirely on what is within your power, your thoughts, your actions, and your reactions. Think about it. When was the last time you allowed external events to dictate your happiness? Rule 2. Master your mind. Marcus Aurelius, writing in the midst of war, reminded himself daily, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Pause and ask yourself, who truly rules your life? Is it you? Or is it the opinions of others? The fear of failure, or the distractions of the modern world? Rule 3. Practice negative visualization. The Stoics had a curious practice. They would visualize the worst-case scenario. Why? Not to be pessimistic, but to prepare themselves emotionally. Imagine losing a cherished possession, facing rejection, or encountering failure. If you've already faced it in your mind, you'll be ready for it in reality. This doesn't diminish your joys, it heightens them. Rule 4. Amor fati, love your fate. Instead of fighting life's hardships, embrace them. Life is not happening to you, it's happening for you. Each challenge, each loss, is shaping you into someone stronger, wiser, and more resilient. Rule 5. Take responsibility for your life. Seneca said, "It's not because things are difficult that we do not dare. It's because we do not dare that things are difficult." How often do we blame circumstances, people, or bad luck for our failures? The Stoic takes ownership of their life. When you do this, you reclaim your power. Picture a modern professional, standing on a stage, delivering a speech to thousands. Their palms sweat, their heart races, but in that moment, they recall a Stoic rule. Focus only on what you can control. The result? Calm, clarity, confidence. This is the practical power of Stoicism. But let's not stop here. Ask yourself, what fears are you allowing to control you? What would happen if you faced them head-on? Rule 6. Memento mori, remember death. This rule is not about being morbid. It's about urgency. Life is fleeting, and death is inevitable. By keeping this truth close, we live with more intention. How many of us go through life on autopilot, forgetting that every day is a gift? Rule 7. Focus on the present moment. The present moment is all we have, Marcus Aurelius wrote. Yet, how much of our lives are spent regretting the past or worrying about the future? Practice anchoring yourself in now. What beauty or opportunity are you missing because your mind is elsewhere? Rule 8. Cultivate inner calm. Imagine a still pond. No matter what's thrown into it, the ripples fade. That's inner calm. It doesn't mean ignoring emotions, but learning to respond rather than react. The next time you're angry or anxious, pause, breathe, observe the emotion, let it pass. Rule 9. Pursue virtue above all else. For the Stoics, virtue, courage, wisdom, justice, and temperance was the ultimate goal. Wealth, power, and fame are fleeting, but virtue is unshakable. Ask yourself, are your daily choices aligned with the person you want to become? Rule 10. Embrace discomfort. Seneca practiced living with less to remind himself how little he truly needed. In our age of convenience, discomfort can be a powerful teacher. Skip a meal, take a cold shower, or walk instead of driving. These small acts build resilience and remind us of our inner strength. At this point, you might be wondering, why aren't these principles taught everywhere? Why do we chase temporary pleasures instead of enduring peace? Because society thrives on distraction. Advertisements, social media, and entertainment pull us away from ourselves. But you, by being here, are choosing differently. Rule 11. Avoid complaints. Complaining is wasted energy. When faced with a problem, ask, what can I do about this? If nothing, let it go. If something, complaining is inertia, action is progress. Rule 12. Don't be ruled by others' opinions. Marcus Aurelius said, "It never ceases to amaze me. We all love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinions than our own." How much of your life is shaped by the fear of judgment? Remember, what others think of you is none of your business. Rule 13. Find joy in simplicity. Happiness isn't found in extravagance, but in simplicity. A walk in nature, a genuine conversation, or a moment of gratitude holds more value than any luxury. Simplify, and you'll uncover joy. Rule 14. Practice gratitude daily. Each night, the Stoics reflected on what went well and what they were grateful for. Gratitude shifts your perspective, revealing abundance where you once saw lack. Rule 15. Learn from failure. Failure is not the end. It's a teacher. Each setback holds a lesson. When faced with failure, ask, what is this teaching me? How can I grow from this? As we close this section, let me leave you with a thought. What would happen if you truly embraced these rules? What kind of life would you create? Unshakable freedom. How Stoicism can set you free in a chaotic world. Imagine for a moment being entirely free, not in the sense of wandering the world without responsibility, but free in your mind. Picture yourself walking through chaos, deadlines looming, relationships strained, uncertainty everywhere, and yet, none of it shakes you. You are calm, steady, and clear. This is the freedom Stoicism offers, and it's the essence of what we'll explore in this part. But first, consider this. What does freedom mean to you? Is it wealth, time, or something deeper, freedom from fear, doubt, and emotional turmoil? Rule 16. Accept what is. Reality doesn't change because we resist it. Instead of wishing for circumstances to be different, accept them as they are. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Love only what happens to you and is woven into the pattern of your destiny." Acceptance isn't resignation, it's power. The saying, "This is the hand I've been dealt. Now, how do I play it?" Rule 17. Control your desires. We live in a world that thrives on creating wants. New gadgets, bigger houses, better cars. But how often do these desires bring lasting fulfillment? The Stoics believe true wealth lies not in having more but in needing less. Reflect. What do you truly need to live a meaningful life? Rule 18. Cultivate self-discipline. Freedom requires discipline. It's the paradox of life. Seneca said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." Think of self-discipline as the key to unlock your highest potential. Start small, wake up earlier, stick to a routine, or keep a promise to yourself. Each act of discipline strengthens your inner resolve. Rule 19. Let go of attachment. Clinging to things, be it material possessions, relationships, or even ideas, leads to suffering. The Stoics teach us to appreciate without attachment. Enjoy what you have, but remember, it's not truly yours. Ask yourself, if I lost this tomorrow, could I still find peace? Rule 20. Face adversity with grace. Life is not meant to be easy. It's through challenges that we grow. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." When you encounter obstacles, see them as opportunities for growth. Let's pause. Imagine you've just faced a major setback, perhaps a failed project, a lost relationship, or an unexpected health challenge. Now ask yourself, what if this isn't the end, but the beginning of something greater? Rule 21. Be kind, even when it's hard. Kindness is a strength, not a weakness. In a world full of anger and division, A simple act of kindness can be revolutionary. The Stoics practiced compassion, even toward those who wronged them. Why? Because they understood that cruelty stems from ignorance, not malice. Rule 22. Don't take things personally. Not everything is about you. When someone criticizes or mistreats you, it often reflects their inner struggles, not your worth. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "When you wake up in the morning, tell yourself, the people I deal with today will be meddling, ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest, jealous, and surly. They are like this because they cannot tell good from evil." Rule 23. Reflect on your day. Every evening, the Stoics would reflect on their actions. What did I do well? What could I have done better? This practice isn't about guilt but growth. It's a way to realign with your values daily. Rule 24. Balance action with rest. Stoicism isn't about endless productivity. It's about intentional living. Rest is as important as action. Remember, even Marcus Aurelius, an emperor, made time for reflection and rest. Are you prioritizing time to recharge? Rule 25. Seek wisdom over pleasure. Pleasure is fleeting, wisdom endures. The Stoics valued learning and self-improvement over indulgence. Each day is an opportunity to grow. What are you doing today to become wiser? At this point, you might feel a shift, a realization that the rules we're discussing aren't just abstract ideas but practical tools for life. Let me ask, what's stopping you from applying them right now? Rule 26. Stay humble. No matter how much you achieve, remember, you are one small part of a vast universe. Humility isn't about thinking less of yourself but thinking of yourself less. Seneca wrote, "What need is there to weep over parts of life? The whole of it calls for tears." Rule 27. Anticipate setbacks. The Stoics believed in premeditatio malorum, anticipating potential problems. This isn't pessimism, it's preparation. By imagining challenges, you can face them calmly when they arise. Rule 28. Embrace solitude. In solitude, we meet ourselves. The Stoics spent time alone, not to escape the world but to understand it better. Take moments of silence daily. Disconnect to reconnect with what truly matters. Rule 29. Speak less. Listen more. Epictetus said, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so that we can listen twice as much as we speak." In a world full of noise, the ability to listen deeply is rare and powerful. Rule 30. Live according to nature. For the Stoics, living in harmony with nature meant aligning with the natural order, accepting life cycles, understanding your role, and not resisting the inevitable. Reflect. Are you living in alignment with your true self, or are you resisting it? Imagine standing in front of a mirror. What do you see? Not just your reflection, but your choices, your habits, and your character. Now ask, if this were your last day, would you be proud of the life you've lived? Rule 31. Be patient. Growth takes time. Just as a tree doesn't sprout overnight, neither do profound changes in your life. Patience isn't passive. It's active trust in the process. Rule 32. Avoid envy. Envy is comparison turned toxic. The Stoics taught us to focus on our own path, not others. When you feel envy, ask yourself, what can I learn from this person instead of resenting them? Rule 33. Don't fear criticism. Criticism is inevitable. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself, if it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it. Live in alignment with your values, and criticism will lose its sting. Rule 34. Keep moving forward. No matter how slow, progress is progress. As Seneca said, while we are postponing, life speeds by. What small step can you take today toward a better life? Rule 35. Find contentment in the present. Happiness isn't found in some distant future. It's here and now. The Stoics believed in finding joy in the present moment, no matter how imperfect it may seem. As we close this part, I challenge you, What would happen if you fully embraced these rules? How different would your life be a year from now? The Stoics' legacy: building a life that inspires others to live with courage and clarity. Imagine being remembered not for what you owned or accomplished, but for how you lived, for your courage in the face of adversity, your clarity amidst confusion, and your unwavering commitment to what is right. This is the legacy of a Stoic, a life that inspires others to rise above their circumstances and live with meaning. Ask yourself, what kind of legacy do you want to leave behind? Is it one that reflects fleeting success, or one that changes lives for generations? Rule 36. Lead by example. The most powerful way to inspire others is not through words but through actions. When you embody Stoic principles, calm under pressure, integrity in decisions, and kindness even when it's hard, you become a living testament to what's possible. Rule 37. Focus on long-term values. The Stoics lived by virtues: courage, wisdom, justice, and temperance, not trends. Reflect. Are your daily choices aligned with what will matter in 10, 20, or 50 years? Building a meaningful life requires thinking beyond the present moment. Rule 38. Accept impermanence. Everything is temporary: your successes, your failures, even your struggles. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "All things fade and quickly turn to myth." Embracing impermanence frees you from clinging to what must eventually pass. Rule 39. Seek harmony, not perfection. Life isn't perfect, nor will it ever be. The Stoic seeks harmony instead, a balance between effort and acceptance, ambition and contentment. Think of your life as a symphony. It doesn't need to be flawless to be beautiful. Rule 40. Commit to lifelong learning. The pursuit of wisdom never ends. Seneca said, "As long as you live, keep learning how to live. Read widely, reflect deeply, and remain curious. Each lesson brings you closer to understanding yourself and the world." Now imagine this: you're standing at a crossroads. One path leads to a comfortable life, devoid of challenge but also growth. The other is uncertain, difficult, and filled with opportunities to build courage and character. Which path would you choose? Rule 41. Stay resilient in failure. Failure is not a detour. It's part of the path. The Stoics believed that each failure brings a lesson. Ask yourself, what have I learned from my failures? How have they shaped me into who I am today? Rule 42. Detach from outcomes. You can control your actions, but not their results. This is liberating. Do your best, and let go of the rest. True freedom lies in detachment from outcomes. Rule 43. Find purpose in service. The Stoics believed in living for the greater good. Marcus Aurelius constantly reminded himself, "What is not good for the beehive cannot be good for the bee." Think about how your actions contribute to others. What legacy of service are you leaving? Rule 44. Practice forgiveness. Holding on to anger is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to suffer. Forgive not for them, but for your own peace. Seneca advised us to remember our own imperfections when judging others. Rule 45. Live authentically. The greatest burden is trying to be someone you're not. Be true to yourself, even when it's hard. As Epictetus said, know, first, who you are, and then adorn yourself accordingly. Picture a ripple in a still pond. Your actions, however small, create waves that touch countless lives. Now consider, what kind of ripple effect are you creating in the world? Rule 46. Embrace change. Change is the only constant. Resisting it leads to suffering. Embracing it brings growth. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Observe constantly that all things take place by change. Are you resisting life's flow, or moving with it?" Rule 47. Face fear head-on. Fear thrives in avoidance. The Stoics teach us to confront fear, to step into the discomfort. What fear is holding you back right now? What would happen if you faced it today? Rule 48. Cultivate gratitude for adversity. Adversity is life's greatest teacher. Instead of resenting challenges, be grateful for the strength they build. Reflect. What difficulties have shaped you into who you are? Rule 49. Leave a positive mark. Your time here is finite. What impact will you make? Each act of kindness, each moment of integrity, adds to the legacy you leave. Rule 50. Live fully. Die peacefully. The ultimate Stoic rule is to live so fully that, when your time comes, you can meet it with peace. Seneca wrote, "Begin at once to live, and count each separate day as a separate life." As we conclude, let me ask you one final question. If today were your last day, would you be proud of the life you've lived? This is your invitation to embrace these rules, not just as ideas, but as a way of life. Share this journey with others. Be the calm in the storm, the clarity in the chaos, and the inspiration that sparks change in the world. What do you think of this legacy? What if everything you need to control your life is already within you? Picture this. The year is 175 CE. A battle rages on the Danube frontier. The Roman Emperor, Marcus Aurelius, stands amidst chaos, his soldiers shouting orders, the clash of swords ringing through the cold air. Yet, while the external world is chaos, his mind remains still. His journal, what we now call meditations, captures his thoughts as he balances the immense burden of leading an empire with an unyielding quest for inner peace. Now, imagine if you could borrow his mindset for just one day. How would your life change? Here's the truth. Marcus Aurelius wasn't born a philosopher king. His wisdom didn't descend like divine inspiration. Instead, it was forged through relentless self-examination and a commitment to mastering his mind. And today, you and I are about to unpack that wisdom not as abstract theory, but as a guide to living boldly, freely, and with resilience. So let's start with a simple but revolutionary idea from Marcus. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Let me ask you this. How much of your daily frustration stems from trying to control what lies outside your influence? Perhaps it's an annoying colleague, a canceled flight, or even the unpredictability of the economy. Yet Marcus teaches us that these external forces are not the enemy. The real challenge is within, the battle to govern our own reactions. Take a moment and think about the last time you were angry or frustrated. Was it really the event that caused your reaction? Or was it your interpretation of it? Marcus reminds us, if you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself but to your estimate of it. And this you have the power to revoke at any moment. But let's be honest, revoking that reaction is hard. Our modern world is designed to provoke us. Social media thrives on outrage. Advertising preys on insecurity. And daily life often feels like a competition for control. So, how do we reclaim the serenity that Marcus wrote about? Here's one way, through the Stoic practice of the dichotomy of control. Imagine dividing your concerns into two categories: things you can influence and things you cannot. It sounds simple, but its implications are profound. Think about how much mental energy you spend on outcomes beyond your control. Now, imagine redirecting that energy to focus solely on your efforts, your attitude, and your values. What would that feel like? Let's bring this to life with a modern example. Picture an entrepreneur whose startup is on the verge of collapse. Investors are withdrawing, the market is shifting, and the pressure is overwhelming. In such moments, it's tempting to panic or blame external factors. But a Stoic entrepreneur would ask, what can I control here? The answer might be clearer than it seems: crafting a better pitch, pivoting the business model, or simply accepting the possibility of failure with grace. Marcus would say, objective judgment, now at this very moment. moment, unselfish action, now at this very moment, willing acceptance, now at this very moment of all external events. That's all you need. And let's not forget the bigger picture. Marcus's philosophy isn't about suppressing emotions or becoming indifferent to life. It's about embracing reality with clarity and courage. When we stop fighting what we can't change, we free ourselves to fully engage with what we can. Now, let me challenge you. What's one thing in your life right now that you're trying to control but shouldn't be? What would happen if you let go of that struggle? The beauty of Stoicism lies in its practicality. Marcus didn't write meditations for an audience. He wrote it for himself, as a tool to navigate the challenges of leadership, loss, and uncertainty. And if a Roman emperor, arguably the most powerful man of his time, found solace in surrendering control, what does that tell us about our own modern anxieties? Let's take this idea deeper. Imagine every interaction, every setback, and every triumph as a test of your character. Marcus saw life as a training ground for virtue. Each moment, whether joyous or painful, was an opportunity to practice wisdom, courage, justice, and self-discipline. But here's the twist. Stoicism isn't about perfection. Marcus himself admitted to failing often. What sets him apart is his commitment to begin again, no matter how many times he stumbled. He wrote, "When you arise in the morning, think of what a precious privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love." So, let's reflect. When was the last time you truly appreciated the privilege of being alive? This mindset doesn't just transform how we face challenges. It reshapes how we see the world. By focusing on gratitude, we shift our attention from scarcity to abundance, from what's missing to what's already here. And isn't that what freedom truly is? Let me leave you with a thought experiment. Imagine your life stripped of all the external things you cling to, possessions, titles, even relationships. What remains? That essence is what Stoicism seeks to cultivate. A self-sufficient, resilient spirit that cannot be shaken by the winds of fortune. The Stoic art of turning adversity into strength. What if the very things you fear and resist the most are the keys to your growth? Marcus Aurelius believed they are. He wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." Let that sink in for a moment. Obstacles are not barriers. They are bridges. Every challenge, every hardship, every frustration is a chance to practice virtue. But how do we reframe adversity in this way? Imagine yourself in a moment of crisis, perhaps a failed relationship, career setback, or an overwhelming loss. The natural response is to resist, to wish things were different. Yet Marcus reminds us, you have power over your mind, not outside events. The question then becomes not, why is this happening to me? But, how can I use this? Let's bring this idea into focus with a story from Marcus's own life. During his reign as emperor, he faced relentless challenges, wars on the frontier, political betrayal, personal tragedy, and a devastating plague that swept through the empire. Yet, instead of crumbling under the weight of these burdens, he saw them as opportunities to strengthen his resolve and refine his character. One of his most powerful reflections during this time was, "If it is endurable, then endure it. Stop complaining. Your destruction will mean its end as well." These words, written in the quiet solitude of his tent, were not just for himself but for us, centuries later, as we navigate our own storms. But let's make this practical. Imagine you're overwhelmed at work, drowning in deadlines and expectations. The immediate reaction might be to feel trapped or defeated. Now, apply Marcus's perspective. What part of this situation is within your control? Could the pressure be a test of your ability to prioritize? Could the challenge be sharpening your problem-solving skills? This shift isn't easy. It requires us to embrace discomfort, to see pain as a teacher rather than an enemy. But here's the paradox. When we stop resisting adversity, we often find that it loses its power over us. Let me ask you, What's one obstacle in your life right now that you've been resisting? What would happen if you leaned into it instead? Marcus's philosophy teaches us to see life as a constant dance between order and chaos, comfort and discomfort. And the more we step into that discomfort willingly, the stronger we become. This is the essence of what he calls amor fati, the love of fate. To not just accept what happens to us, but to embrace it as necessary for our growth. Think about the implications of this. If you could genuinely love everything that happens to you, the good and the bad, what kind of freedom would that create? Now, let's explore a modern example. Picture a world-class athlete training for a competition. Every missed shot, every failed attempt, every aching muscle is not a sign of failure but a step toward mastery. This mindset is not unique to athletes, it's available to all of us. Whether we're artists, entrepreneurs, or simply trying to navigate the complexities of life, Marcus reminds us, no man can escape his destiny. The next inquiry being how he may best live the time that he has to live. In other words, the question isn't whether challenges will come, they will. The real question is, how will you respond? Let's take this one step further. What if adversity isn't just a test but a gift? Consider how hardship often reveals strengths we didn't know we had. A broken relationship teaches us resilience. A failed project forces us to innovate. Personal loss deepens our empathy. Marcus understood this intimately. He wrote, "Loss is nothing else but change, and change is nature's delight." But here's where it gets even deeper. Marcus didn't see obstacles as merely personal challenges. He saw them as opportunities to contribute to the greater good. His philosophy was not self-centered. He believed that by mastering ourselves, we become better citizens, better leaders, better human beings. Think about the ripple effect of this idea. When you face adversity with courage and clarity, you inspire those around you to do the same. Imagine the impact of a society where individuals embrace challenges as opportunities rather than threats. Let me pose a question. What kind of legacy do you want to leave behind? Will it be one of avoidance or one of resilience? As we reflect on Marcus's wisdom, it's worth considering how we can integrate it into our daily lives. Here's a practical exercise. The next time you face a problem, pause and ask yourself 3 questions. What is within my control? What can I learn from this? How can I use this to grow? This practice doesn't eliminate hardship, but it transforms how we experience it. Instead of being victims of circumstance, we become active participants in shaping our lives. Marcus's life was far from easy. He experienced profound loss, betrayal, and suffering, yet he never let these experiences define him. Instead, he used them to refine his character, to deepen his understanding of what it means to live with virtue. As we conclude this section, let me leave you with one of his most enduring reflections. The universe is change. Our life is what our thoughts make it. What will you make of your life? The Stoic blueprint for inner peace and unshakable freedom. Imagine waking up tomorrow, free from the turmoil of overthinking, liberated from the fear of judgment, and untethered by the chains of expectation. What if you could walk through life with the serenity of someone who knows their purpose and is unshaken by the chaos around them? Marcus Aurelius believed this state was not only possible, it was essential. He wrote, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think." This is not a call to morbid introspection, but an invitation to clarity. Marcus reminds us that life is fleeting, and the moments we waste in worry or distraction are moments we'll never reclaim. The path to inner peace begins with embracing the impermanence of everything, our possessions, relationships, and even our own existence. But let's not stop at philosophy. Let's make it real. well. Picture this: you're in the middle of an argument with someone you care about. Your emotions are surging, your mind racing with thoughts of anger or self-defense. In that moment, Marcus would urge you to pause and ask, is this essential? This single question can dissolve tension in an instant. Why? Because most of what we stress about, most of what we fight for, doesn't truly matter. Marcus understood this. He wrote, "Most of what we say and do is not essential. If you can eliminate it, you'll have more time and more tranquility." Let me ask you, what's one thing in your life right now that feels urgent but isn't essential? How much freer would you feel if you let it go? Inner peace, Marcus teaches us, isn't about withdrawing from life but engaging with it more intentionally. It's about recognizing what truly matters and letting go of the rest. And this begins with mastering our thoughts. Consider his advice. Your mind will take the shape of what you frequently hold in thought, for the human spirit is colored by such impressions. In other words, what you focus on shapes who you become. If you dwell on fear, anger, or envy, those emotions will dominate your life. But if you cultivate gratitude, patience, and resilience, you'll embody those virtues instead. Here's a practical exercise. Start your day with a simple reflection. Write down 3 things you're grateful for, 3 challenges you anticipate, and how you plan to face them with virtue. This practice not only sets a stoic tone for your day, but also trains your mind to focus on what matters most. But let's go deeper. What does it mean to be truly free? For Marcus, freedom wasn't about wealth or power, it was about autonomy over one's mind. He wrote, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. Therefore, guard accordingly, and take care that you entertain no notions unsuitable to virtue and reasonable nature." Freedom, then, is a choice. It's the decision to prioritize your values over fleeting pleasures, to align your actions with your principles, and to remain steady in the face of external turbulence. Imagine standing in a storm, wind howling, rain pouring, the world around you in chaos. Most people would struggle to find their footing, but a Stoic would stand firm, not because the storm is any less fierce, but because they've anchored themselves in something deeper, their inner compass. Let me pose another question. What is your anchor? When life feels overwhelming, what keeps you grounded? Marcus believed our anchor lies in understanding the natural order of the universe. He saw himself not as an isolated individual but as part of a greater whole. This perspective shifted his focus from personal gain to collective well-being. He wrote, "What brings no benefit to the hive brings none to the bee." Think about that for a moment. What would happen if we all acted with the hive in mind? If every decision we made considered not just our own interests but the impact on others? This is the essence of Stoic freedom, to live in harmony with nature, contributing to the greater good while maintaining our individual integrity. But freedom is not just philosophical, it's practical. Marcus's wisdom provides us with tools to navigate everyday challenges. The art of reframing. Instead of seeing obstacles as threats, view them as opportunities. Ask yourself, what is this teaching me? The power of presence. Instead of dwelling on the past or fearing the future, focus on what you can do right now. Marcus reminds us, confine yourself to the present. The strength of self-discipline, instead of reacting impulsively. Choose your response with intention. As he wrote, "The best revenge is not to be like your enemy." Let's consider a modern example. Imagine you're scrolling through social media, bombarded by images of other people's seemingly perfect lives. It's easy to feel inadequate or envious, but Marcus would challenge us to look inward. He'd ask, why are you comparing yourself to others? What value does this bring to your life? His advice is simple but profound. Focus on your own path. He wrote, Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. This is the heart of Stoicism, the relentless pursuit of virtue, regardless of circumstances. It's about becoming the best version of ourselves, not for recognition or reward, but because it's the right thing to do. As we near the end of our journey through Marcus's wisdom, let's return to his most enduring question. What is within your control? The answer, of course, is your mind, your thoughts, your actions, your character. Everything else is fleeting, subject to change, and ultimately beyond your grasp. By focusing on what you can control, you not only find peace but also unlock the freedom to live boldly and authentically. So let me leave you with one final challenge. In the next 24 hours, notice the moments when you feel frustrated, anxious, or overwhelmed. Pause, reflect, and ask yourself, what is within my control right now? Then act accordingly. And as you do, remember Marcus's parting words. It is not death that a man should fear, but he should fear never beginning to live. The question now is not whether you understand his wisdom, but whether you will live it. Transform your life daily with these powerful Stoic Alpha affirmations. What if I told you that you've been given a secret weapon, one that can make you unbreakable, immune to failure, and fearless in the face of chaos? It's been hiding in plain sight for over 2,000 years, waiting for you to use it. And today, you will. Right now, you are about to unlock the power of Stoic Alpha affirmations, the ancient mental technology that trained warriors, emperors, and philosophers to remain unmoved by adversity and laser-focused on their highest purpose. This is not mere positive thinking. This is war-tested wisdom, the mindset of men who faced death daily yet remained in absolute control. But before we begin, let me ask you, what is stopping you from being free right now? No, really. Is it fear, anxiety, the opinions of others, the weight of failure? Take a second to think. Because in this moment, whatever your answer is, that's what's controlling you. But after this, it won't anymore. Let's begin. I wake up. The world is silent, but my mind is already speaking. It doesn't wait. It floods me with thoughts, some useful, most distracting. And this is where most people fail before they even start their day. But not me, not you, not anymore. Because the first battle of the day is the battle of the mind. So here's the first Stoic Alpha affirmation. I control my mind, or my mind controls me. Say it with me, not as a whisper, but as a command. I control my mind, or my mind controls me. This is the foundation of everything. If you fail here, you fail everywhere. But if you win here, you become untouchable. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher king, wrote this in his private notes. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Imagine a man waking up every morning to lead an empire in the middle of a war. Plagues, betrayals, political chaos. His life was a storm, but he remained calm. Why? Because he refused to let his mind become the storm. So today, as you wake up, ask yourself, Do you rule your thoughts, or do they rule you? If a negative thought appears, pause. Look at it like a scientist observing an experiment. Do not react, just notice it, and remind yourself, this is just a thought. It has no power over me unless I give it power. Now, let's move to the next. The world owes you nothing, and that's your greatest advantage. You step out into the world. You check your phone messages, emails, distractions. Instantly, you're pulled in 100 directions. Frustration rises. Someone says something that annoys you. Plans change. A delay ruins your schedule. And here's where most people lose control. They let external events decide their mood, their focus, their energy, but not you, because today, you affirm, I expect nothing, and I accept everything. This is the mindset of the Stoic Alpha. You do not expect fairness. You do not demand that the world operate in a way that pleases you. You simply see reality as it is, and you move forward anyway. This was the wisdom of Epictetus, the former slave who became a philosopher. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Think about that. Two people lose their jobs. One collapses into despair, blaming the world, drowning in frustration. The other immediately starts working on his next move, seeing opportunity in the setback. Same event, different reactions. Now ask yourself, how much of your suffering comes from your expectations, not reality? When you expect things to go smoothly, you get frustrated when they don't. But when you expect nothing, when you embrace uncertainty as a given, nothing can shake you. So, as you go through your day, remember, every problem, every challenge, every unexpected turn is not an obstacle. It's just reality. And you adapt. You move. You dominate. Pain is your training ground, not your enemy. The day moves forward. A setback appears, big or small. It doesn't matter. Maybe it's rejection. Maybe it's failure. Maybe it's something as small as spilling your coffee. Most people react with anger, frustration, self-pity. They see pain as an enemy, but not you, because today, you affirm, I am grateful for every difficulty, because it forges me into something stronger. Marcus Aurelius had a saying, the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. This is the Stoics' greatest superpower. Pain is not a roadblock. It is a sharpening stone. The gym hurts, but that's how muscles grow. Learning a skill is frustrating, but that's how mastery is built. Rejection stings, but that's how resilience is formed. Everything that is hard is a gift, if you choose to see it that way. So the next time something goes wrong, before you react, pause and ask, what if this is actually happening for me? Not against me? Most people curse difficulty. However, you welcome it, because every difficulty is an opportunity to prove your strength. Now, here's your challenge. Today, something will go wrong. It always does. But instead of reacting, instead of complaining, you will smile, you will breathe, and you will remind yourself, this is my training. This is how I become unbreakable. The secret to freedom: want nothing, need nothing, fear nothing. It's evening now. The world slows down, but your mind is still running, regretting the past, worrying about the future. So here's your final affirmation for today. I have everything I need within me. Nothing outside of me controls my peace. Most people chase things, money, status, validation, thinking that once they get them, they'll be happy. But here's the secret. Happiness is not something you find. It's something you decide. Seneca, one of the greatest Stoics, wrote, "He is richest who wants the least." Freedom isn't about having more. It's about needing less. Because the moment you need something to feel happy, you give it power over you. So tonight, as you lay in bed, ask yourself, what am I still chasing? And do I truly need it? Or is it just a lie my mind has been taught to believe? And then, let go. Let go of needing anything. Let go of fearing anything, because the man who needs nothing is the man who cannot be controlled. This is how you transform your life daily, by affirming your power, by expecting nothing and accepting everything, by embracing pain as your greatest ally, and by realizing that true freedom comes when you need nothing outside of yourself. Now, are you ready to take this further? Because in the next part, we go deeper. We unlock the most advanced Stoic Alpha principles that will take you beyond mere mental strength into absolute mastery over your emotions, your reactions, and your destiny. The code of the unshakable, how to become truly invincible in mind and spirit. Picture this. A man stands alone in the middle of a battlefield. Explosions around him, chaos, destruction, and fear swallowing everything in sight. But he doesn't flinch. His breathing remains steady, his mind unshaken, because he knows something others don't. Now, imagine that man is you, not in a literal battlefield, but in the battlefield of life. Every day, life throws challenges at you. Stress, pressure, rejection, pain, and most people break under it. But not you, because by the end of this, you will have something far more powerful than motivation or confidence. You will have an unshakable core, a mind that cannot be moved, no matter what happens. So let's begin. Your emotions are liars. Control them, or they will control you. The first step to becoming unshakable is understanding one truth. Your emotions are not you. Think about it. Have you ever been angry about something, only to later realize it wasn't worth it? Have you ever feared something, only to later laugh at how small it really was? What does that mean? It means emotions are temporary illusions. They rise and fall like waves, but waves don't move the ocean. And you are the ocean. So here's today's first Stoic Alpha affirmation. I observe my emotions, but I do not obey them. Marcus Aurelius, a man who ruled an empire and faced endless betrayals, understood this well. If you are distressed by anything external, it is not the thing itself that troubles you, but your judgment about it, and you have the power to change that judgment at any moment. Pause and think about that. Right now, the thing that stresses you, worries you, or makes you afraid, is it really the thing itself? Or is it your judgment about it? Imagine you're standing in a storm. The wind is fierce. The rain is cold. You have two choices. You can fight the storm, or you can become the storm. So the next time anger rises, pause. The next time fear grips you, pause, and remind yourself, this is just a passing wave. I am the ocean. The power of indifference, how to break free from control. Most people live in chains, but they don't see them. They are controlled by what people think, by social pressure, by the fear of being disliked. They are puppets, and the strings are invisible. But you are about to cut those strings. Here's the next Stoic Alpha affirmation. I do not seek approval. I seek mastery over myself. Why? Because the moment you seek approval, you give others control. If someone's opinion can lift you up, can also break you down, and that means you are not free. Seneca, one of the greatest Stoics, once said, a man is unhappy because he cares too much about what is outside of his control. So ask yourself, how much of your energy is wasted worrying about what others think? How much of your potential is trapped because of a fear that doesn't even belong to you? A king does not beg for respect. A lion does not seek approval. And neither do you. So today, practice this. The next time you hesitate because of fear of judgment, do it anyway. The next time someone criticizes you, smile and move forward. The next time you feel the pull of approval, remind yourself, the only opinion that matters is the one in my own mind. Because freedom begins the moment you stop caring about things that don't matter. Pain is your greatest ally if you learn how to use it. Now, let's talk about pain, because this is where most people give up. Life hits them hard, and they fall. Someone rejects them, and they lose confidence. They fail once, and they think it's over. But here's what they don't understand. Pain is not your enemy. Pain is your teacher. Here's today's next Stoic Alpha affirmation. I do not suffer from pain. I train with it. Every great warrior in history understood this. The Spartans trained in the harshest conditions, not because they enjoyed suffering, but because it made them invincible. Epictetus, who was born a slave, put it this way: difficulties show what men truly are. Therefore, when trouble comes, remember, you were made for this. So now, think of your greatest struggle, the thing that hurts you most right now, the thing you wish you could remove from your life. What if, instead of seeing it as a curse, you saw it as a test? What if this difficulty is happening not to you, but for you? What if every painful moment is an opportunity to become something greater? So here's your challenge. Today, embrace discomfort. If something is hard, do it anyway. If something hurts, lean into it. If you fail, try again. Because pain is not stopping you. Pain is making you unstoppable. The secret weapon, a more fatty, loving everything that happens. We've talked about control over the mind, control over approval, and control over pain. But now, let's take it further. Let's talk about the highest level of freedom. Because most people resist life. They fight reality. They say, this shouldn't be happening. But the Stoic Alpha? He does the opposite. Here's today's final affirmation. I love everything that happens, because everything makes me stronger. This is a more fatty, a Latin phrase meaning love of fate. Nietzsche, one of the boldest philosophers in history, took this idea to the extreme. My formula for greatness in a human being is a more fatty, that one wants nothing to be different. Not forward, not backward, not in all eternity. This means, no matter what happens, you accept it, you embrace it, you use it. A setback? Good. Now you have a chance to grow. A failure? Good. Now you have a lesson that others don't. A betrayal? Good. Now you know who is real. Imagine if, from this moment forward, you never fought reality again. Imagine if, instead of resisting life, you worked with it, flowed with it, like water adapting to any shape. Wouldn't that make you invincible? This is true freedom. The moment you stop wishing things were different, and you start using everything to your advantage. So today, practice this. The next time something doesn't go your way, smile, say good, and move forward, because nothing is stopping you. Nothing can stop you. This is the code of the unshakable. Master your emotions, detach from approval, turn pain into power, and love everything that happens. Because this is not just philosophy, this is a weapon. This is how you win at life. Now, are you ready for the final part? Because next, we take this even further. We move from mental strength to absolute mastery. The path to the apex, becoming the Stoic Alpha who commands his reality. At this point, you've already begun to break free. You're no longer a slave to your emotions. You're no longer begging for approval. You no longer fear pain, you use it. But there's still one more level to reach. Because the truth is, most people never reach mastery. They get a taste of freedom, a glimpse of control, and they stop. They get comfortable. They settle. But not you. You didn't come this far just to be better. You came to master yourself so completely that you control your reality itself. This is the final transformation, the Stoic apex. By the end of this, you will walk through life untouchable, unstoppable, and undeniable. Let's begin. The power of total control, mastering the dichotomy of control. There are only two types of people in the world. Those who waste energy on things outside their control. Those who focus only on what they control and dominate their world because of it. Which one do you think is more powerful? Here's today's first Stoic Alpha affirmation. I control what I can, and I let go of what I cannot. This is the dichotomy of control, the most powerful mental model the Stoics ever developed. It is the foundation of total mastery. Epictetus said it simply, Happiness and freedom begin with a clear understanding of one principle. Some things are within your control, and some things are not. Think about this deeply. Right now, list everything in your life that's making you stressed, anxious, or angry. How many of those things are truly in your control? Most people obsess over the opinions of others, over external events, over things they wish were different. They fight reality and exhaust themselves. But you are different. If it is outside of my control, I do not waste a single thought on it. This means, if someone likes you or not your concern. If the market crashes, not your concern. If people gossip about you, not your concern. But what is under your control? Your reaction, your response, your mindset, your discipline. So from now on, whenever you feel overwhelmed, pause and ask yourself, is this within my control? If the answer is no, drop it. If the answer is yes, dominate it. The apex mindset, winning without emotion. Most people are ruled by emotions. They make decisions based on fear, impulse, and ego, and that's why they lose. The Stoic Alpha? He operates on logic, not feelings. Here's today's next affirmation. I act based on logic, not emotion. I execute my plans without hesitation. There's a reason warriors train to remain calm under pressure. Because the second emotion takes over, you are no longer in control. Marcus Aurelius said, think of yourself as dead. You have lived your life. Now take what's left and live it properly. What does this mean? It means drop all fear, drop hesitation, drop excuses. If you had nothing to lose, what would you do? If you weren't afraid of failure, what would you attempt? If emotions had no control over you, how powerful would you become? From now on, before you make a decision, pause and ask, is this a logical move, or am I just reacting? Is this action based on long-term success or short-term emotion? If I was already at my apex, how would I respond? Because if you truly want to reach the top, you must learn to execute with cold precision. The final discipline, ruthless self-command. Now we arrive at the final piece, the thing that separates the great from the average. Most people wait for motivation. They wait until they feel like it. They start things but never finish. They lack discipline. But the Stoic Alpha? He commands himself. Here's today's next affirmation. I do what must be done, no matter how I feel. Seneca wrote, we suffer more in imagination than in reality. Think about how many times you've procrastinated on something, only to realize later that it wasn't even that hard. What does that mean? It means the mind is weak, and it must be trained. If you only do what's comfortable, you will never be powerful. If you only take action when it's easy, you will never be in control. So here's your challenge. For the next 30 days, do at least one thing daily that you do not want to do. Wake up earlier than usual. Take a cold shower. Do the hard task first. Go to the gym when you don't feel like it. Work on your goal when you're tired. Because every time you override your emotions, you reinforce the truth. You are in control. Final level, becoming the one who commands reality. There is one last thing, the rarest, most powerful state a human being can reach. It is when you no longer react to life. You create life. Here's the final affirmation. I do not follow. I do not react. I dictate the terms of my reality. Marcus Aurelius ruled the most powerful empire in history, yet he never let it control him. Why? Because he understood this. Very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking. Most people wake up and drift through life. They react to events instead of creating their own path. They follow. But you, from this moment forward, you lead. You decide how your life unfolds. You set the standards. You dictate how people treat you. You carve the path, and the world adjusts to you. If an obstacle appears, you move through it. The plans change. You adapt effortlessly. If life challenges you, you laugh because you were built for this. The Stoic apex is not just about endurance. It is about command. So here is the final test. For the next 7 days, live as if everything is happening exactly as it should. No complaints, no hesitation, only action. You are not a follower. You are not controlled. You are not afraid. You are the one who commands. The transformation is complete. You have reached the peak. You have learned the power of total control. Focus only on what you control, and let go of the rest. The apex mindset, execute with logic, not emotions. The final discipline, do what must be done, no matter how you feel. The ultimate state, you are the creator of your own reality. This is the Stoic Alpha. This is the mind of an emperor, a warrior, a conqueror, and now, it is yours. Now go, live it, own it, be it. And before you leave, answer this final question. If today was your last day, did you live it the way a true Stoic Alpha would? This is how you transform your life daily. This is how you become unstoppable. If you're ready for more, share this wisdom with someone who needs it, because the world needs fewer followers and more leaders like you.
Ten powerful Stoic practices to free yourself from overthinking forever. I want you to imagine standing at the edge of a vast, tumultuous ocean of thoughts, where each wave represents the doubts and anxieties that threaten to overwhelm our inner peace. I remember a moment that changed my life, when I was drowning in a sea of relentless overthinking, feeling as though each thought was a chain locking me away from my true self. In that very moment, as the world around me seemed to collapse under the weight of chaos, I discovered a spark of clarity that illuminated a path to freedom. I invite you to join me on this journey, where together we will explore 10 powerful Stoic practices to free yourself from overthinking forever. Practices that have the strength to transform our lives and empower us to meet adversity with calm determination and unwavering courage. We begin by acknowledging that overthinking is not a new enemy, but an age-old challenge that even the wisest among us have struggled against. Throughout the ages, Stoic philosophers have taught that our minds are both our greatest allies and, if misdirected, our fiercest adversaries. I stand here with you today, sharing insights that have been refined over millennia, encouraging you to reflect deeply on the nature of your thoughts. What if, instead of allowing our minds to spiral into endless loops of worry, we can harness them like a master sculptor shapes raw marble into a magnificent statue? By embracing Stoicism, we learn that every thought has value only if it propels us toward virtue and clarity. In the quiet moments of solitude, when the noise of the world fades away, we have the opportunity to confront our inner turmoil head-on. I challenge you to ask yourself, are my thoughts serving me? Or am I serving my thoughts? This question, as simple as it may seem, is the cornerstone of the Stoic practice of mindfulness, a practice that teaches us to observe our thoughts without judgment, to let them come and go like clouds drifting across a serene sky. It is here, in the heart of introspection, that we begin to realize that overthinking is not an unassailable foe but rather a habit that can be dismantled, brick by brick, with deliberate and mindful effort. Imagine waking up each day with the clarity of purpose that only Stoicism can provide, a mindset so resilient that no matter what challenges the day may hold, you remain calm and focused. I have experienced this transformative power firsthand. There was a time when every minor setback felt like a crushing defeat, when the weight of my anxieties threatened to paralyze me. But by adopting Stoic practices, I learned to embrace every obstacle as an opportunity for growth, to see each challenge as a stepping stone on the path to true inner strength. And you, too, can learn to break free from the chains of overthinking, to reclaim your mind and your life. Let us delve into the first practice, the art of distinguishing what is within our control from what is not. This fundamental principle of Stoic philosophy teaches us that we must focus our energy only on what we can change, and let go of the rest. When you wake up each morning, take a moment to list the things that are truly within your power. Notice how many of your worries are about external events beyond your influence. With every breath, remind yourself that you are the master of your own mind, and that your inner world is a sanctuary untouched by the uncontrollable currents of fate. As you embrace this practice, feel the weight of unnecessary thoughts begin to lift, replaced by a serene confidence that whatever happens, you have the power to choose your response. As we continue our journey, we come to the practice of journaling, a ritual that has been cherished by Stoic thinkers for centuries. In the quiet solitude of your morning or the reflective stillness of your evening, set aside time to write down your thoughts. Pour out your worries, your hopes, and your dreams onto paper. This is not just a way to vent, it is a disciplined exercise in self-awareness. By recording your inner dialogue, you create a space to analyze your thoughts objectively, to recognize patterns that lead to overthinking, and to celebrate the progress you make each day. Journaling is a practice that invites you to have an honest conversation with yourself. A dialogue that ultimately liberates you from the mental clutter that stifles your potential. I recall the first time I took pen to paper with the intention of self-discovery. It was as if I had opened a door to a hidden room within myself, a room filled with long-forgotten memories, unspoken fears, and untapped reserves of strength. In that moment, I realized that the act of writing was a declaration of self-empowerment, a testament to the belief that I was more than my incessant thoughts. And now, I urge you to embrace this practice wholeheartedly. Let your journal become a trusted companion, a sacred space where the seeds of Stoic wisdom are sown and nurtured into a flourishing garden of clarity. Another profound Stoic practice is the cultivation of gratitude. Often, our minds fixate on what is lacking or what has gone wrong, ignoring the bounty of blessings that surround us. I challenge you to shift your perspective. Take a moment each day to reflect on the simple yet profound gifts that life offers. Whether it is the warmth of the morning sun, the smile of a loved one, or the gentle whisper of the wind, every moment holds the potential to remind you of the beauty and abundance of existence. As you nurture a spirit of gratitude, you create an internal reservoir of positive energy that counteracts the negativity of overthinking. This practice not only grounds you in the present but also builds a resilient mindset that can withstand the storms of doubt and despair. There was a time when I found myself fixated on the imperfections of my world, unable to see past the flaws and setbacks that seemed to define my existence. It was then that I discovered the transformative power of gratitude, a simple yet profound shift in perspective that turned my world from one of scarcity to one of abundance. I began to notice the small miracles that were hidden in plain sight, each one a testament to the enduring beauty of life. And I want you to experience this revelation too. Let gratitude be the lens through which you view your challenges, transforming obstacles into opportunities and setbacks into stepping stones on the path to personal growth. As we journey deeper into the heart of Stoic practice, we arrive at the art of visualization, a powerful technique that has the potential to rewire our minds and prepare us for life's inevitable challenges. Close your eyes and imagine a future where overthinking no longer holds you captive, a future where each decision is guided by clarity, courage, and a profound sense of inner peace. Visualize yourself standing tall in the midst of chaos, calm and resolute, as if nothing could shake your foundation. This mental rehearsal is not mere fantasy. It is a deliberate practice that trains your mind to face adversity with a steady heart. When you visualize success, you pave the way for it to become your reality, transforming uncertainty into a beacon of hope and purpose. I remember the countless hours spent in quiet contemplation, visualizing a life where fear and doubt were mere shadows of the past. In those moments, the chaos within me began to settle into a calm, measured rhythm, a rhythm that reminded me of the quiet strength that lies at the core of Stoicism. I invite you to join me in this practice. Allow your mind to paint vivid pictures of triumph over adversity, of calm determination in the face of overwhelming odds. With each visualization, you build a mental fortress that shields you from the incessant barrage of overthinking, replacing it with an unwavering belief in your ability to overcome any challenge. The next practice on our transformative journey is the embrace of impermanence, the understanding that nothing in life is fixed or eternal. Not even our thoughts. By accepting that change is the only constant, we free ourselves from the paralyzing grip of overanalysis. Instead of clinging to moments that have passed or fretting about those yet to come, we learn to live fully in the present moment, This practice requires a deep trust in the natural flow of life, a trust that, even in the face of uncertainty, we are exactly where we need to be. As you internalize this truth, you begin to see that each thought, each worry, is as transient as a passing cloud, destined to dissipate in the light of your renewed focus and inner strength. I have often pondered the irony that the very act of resisting change only intensifies our suffering. In our desperate attempts to cling to what is familiar, we inadvertently create barriers that prevent us from experiencing the beauty of transformation. The wisdom of Stoicism teaches us that by accepting the impermanent nature of life, we can embrace each moment with an open heart and a clear mind. I encourage you to reflect on this truth. Every challenge you face is a fleeting moment in the grand tapestry of your existence. A moment that, when embraced fully, enriches your journey rather than diminishes it. In our quest to free ourselves from overthinking, we must also learn the art of self-discipline, a practice that demands commitment, perseverance, and an unwavering belief in our capacity for change. Self-discipline is not a tool of restriction but rather a pathway to liberation. It is the very foundation upon which the edifice of Stoic philosophy is built. By setting clear intentions and adhering to a routine that aligns with our values, we create a structure that supports our growth and shields us from the distractions of a chaotic mind. I challenge you to identify one habit, one thought pattern, that no longer serves you, and commit to transforming it with the precision and dedication of a master craftsman. There was a time when I let the whims of my thoughts dictate my actions, drifting aimlessly in a sea of indecision and anxiety. It was through the rigorous practice of self-discipline that I reclaimed control over my life. I established a daily routine that honored my aspirations and provided a sanctuary from the relentless storm of overthinking. Each day, I reminded myself that discipline is the bridge between thought and action, a bridge that, once crossed, leads to a life of purpose, clarity, and inner peace. I want you to feel that same power, that same resolve, as you take small, deliberate steps towards building a disciplined mind that no longer allows overthinking to undermine your potential. As our journey continues, we encounter another potent Stoic practice, the practice of reflection through meditation. Meditation, often misunderstood as a mere tool for relaxation, is in fact a rigorous exercise in mental fortitude. It is in the quiet moments of meditation that we learn to observe the inner workings of our minds, to understand the root causes of our overthinking, and to cultivate an unwavering sense of inner calm. I encourage you to set aside time each day for this sacred practice. As you settle into a state of reflective stillness, ask yourself, what is the source of my turmoil? What do I truly seek beyond the constant chatter of my mind? These questions, posed in the silence of your meditation, can lead to profound insights that not only alleviate overthinking but also guide you towards a life of intentional living. I remember the first time I sat down in meditation, unsure of what to expect. In that quiet space, as the world around me fell away, I began to hear the subtle whispers of my true self, a voice that was calm, wise, and profoundly gentle. In that moment, I understood that meditation was not about escaping reality, but about confronting it with clarity and compassion. With each session, I discovered new layers of insight, peeling away the layers of unnecessary thought until only the essence of who I truly was remained. And I invite you to experience that same revelation, to let meditation be the key that unlocks the door to a life free from the tyranny of overthinking. The practice of seeking wisdom from nature is another gem in the treasury of Stoic practices. When we immerse ourselves in the natural world, we are reminded of the simple, enduring truths that underpin life itself. The rustle of leaves in the wind, the steady rhythm of ocean waves, and the quiet majesty of a starlit sky all speak to us in the language of the universe, reminding us that we are part of a grander design, a cosmic dance of impermanence and renewal. As you step outside, take a deep breath and allow nature to remind you that your thoughts are as fleeting as the wind. Allow yourself to be soothed by the eternal rhythms of the natural world. And in doing so, discover a profound sense of inner balance that dispels the fog of overthinking. I have found solace in the simplicity of nature time and again. Its quiet wisdom offering a gentle reminder that no matter how tangled our thoughts may become, the world continues its steady, unhurried rhythm. In those moments of natural wonder, I have experienced epiphanies that have reshaped my understanding of life and its myriad challenges. I want you to find a moment today to step outside, to feel the earth beneath your feet and the sky above your head, and to realize that you are part of something infinitely larger than the fleeting worries of your mind. Yet another transformative practice is the deliberate embrace of discomfort. Yes, you heard me correctly. I urge you to welcome discomfort as a valuable teacher. In the realm of stoicism, discomfort is not something to be avoided at all costs. Rather, it is an invitation to grow stronger, to learn more about our own capacity for resilience. When you expose yourself to challenges that push you out of your comfort zone, you not only break the cycle of overthinking but also cultivate a mental toughness that will serve you throughout your life. Have you ever wondered why the most profound transformations often come from the most challenging experiences? It is in the crucible of adversity that our true character is forged. And every moment of discomfort is a stepping stone towards a more resilient, centered self. I recall a time when I deliberately placed myself in situations that I knew would test my limits, a cold morning run when every muscle begged me to stay in bed, a difficult conversation that required raw honesty and vulnerability, and moments when I had to face my fears head-on. In each instance, the initial discomfort gradually transformed into a powerful sense of accomplishment, a feeling that I had transcended the limitations of my own mind. This practice is not for the faint-hearted. It is a call to arms for anyone who is ready to rise above the incessant chatter of doubt and fear. I invite you to consider, what if every moment of discomfort could be transformed into a victory over overthinking? What if, by welcoming the inevitable challenges of life, you could unlock a reservoir of strength that you never knew existed? As we near the culmination of our exploration, I want you to understand that the journey towards a mind free from overthinking is not a destination but an ongoing process, a lifelong commitment to cultivating inner peace and resilience through deliberate practice. Each of the Stoic practices we have discussed is a tool, a weapon in the arsenal of your mind, and together they form a comprehensive strategy for overcoming the tyranny of relentless thought. Whether it is the art of distinguishing what lies within your control, the reflective power of journaling, the grounding force of gratitude, the visionary practice of visualization, the liberating acceptance of impermanence, the disciplined pursuit of self-control, the meditative exploration of your inner world, the healing embrace of nature, or the courageous confrontation of discomfort, each practice carries within it the seeds of transformation. I want you to know that the path is not always easy. There will be moments when the storm of overthinking seems insurmountable, when doubts creep in and threaten to undo all the progress you have made. In those moments, I encourage you to remember the timeless wisdom of the Stoics, that it is not the external events that disturb us, but our judgments about them. When you find yourself caught in the spiral of relentless thought, pause and ask, is this worry truly worth the energy I am expending? What is the lesson hidden in this challenge? By questioning the validity of your fears, you reclaim the power to shape your reality, turning each trial into an opportunity for growth. In the spirit of Mr. Beast's passion for creating moments that change lives, I want to share with you one final, unparalleled moment of Stoic epiphany, a moment when everything clicks into place. Picture yourself standing alone on a quiet, windswept hilltop at dawn. The sky is painted in hues of gold and rose, and the cool breeze carries away the remnants of night. In that sublime silence, you close your eyes and let go of every burden, every worry, every fragment of doubt. In that moment, you are no longer defined by your overthinking, you are defined by your strength, your courage, and your unwavering commitment to living a life of purpose. This is the moment when you realize that true freedom lies not in the absence of thoughts, but in the mastery of them, a realization that empowers you to embrace life with an open heart and a clear mind. As we journey together from this profound moment of awakening towards the everyday reality of living out Stoic principles, I urge you to integrate these practices into your daily routine. Let the wisdom of ancient philosophers guide you as you navigate the complexities of modern life. Recognize that every struggle, every challenge, is an invitation to grow, to refine your character, and to cultivate an inner sanctuary where overthinking has no power. I stand before you as both a witness and a fellow traveler on this path, a path that demands discipline, courage, and above all, a deep, abiding faith in the potential for transformation. There will be days when the weight of the world seems unbearable. When the mind churns with thoughts that threaten to pull you under. In those moments, remember the power of choice that lies at the core of Stoicism. You have the power to choose which thoughts to nurture and which to release. You have the power to decide whether to let the noise of the world drown out the quiet voice of wisdom within you. I urge you to choose wisely. Let your actions be guided by the principles of virtue, courage, and self-reflection. Let every challenge be met with the steady resolve of a warrior of the mind, ready to confront adversity with the calm assurance that comes from knowing who you truly are. Now, as you reflect on all that we have explored together, the art of discerning what you can control, the liberating practice of journaling, the transformative power of gratitude, the visionary practice of visualization, the acceptance of impermanence, the disciplined path of self-control, the meditative journey into your inner self, the healing communion with nature, and the courageous embrace of discomfort, ask yourself one last profound question. Am I ready to live a life free from the chains of overthinking? I believe that deep within you, there is a spark waiting to ignite a revolution of thought, a revolution that will lead you to the very essence of who you are meant to be. We stand at a crossroads today, where the old habits of relentless worry can be replaced by new habits of mindfulness and resilience. I challenge you, with every fiber of my being, to step forward into a future where your mind is no longer a battleground of conflicting thoughts but a sanctuary of calm clarity and purpose. Embrace these stoic practices as more than mere tools. They are the keys to unlocking the immense reservoir of strength that lies dormant within you. With each deliberate step, you are building a bridge from a life mired in overthinking to one illuminated by the bright light of wisdom and inner peace. In this moment, I want you to remember that you are not alone on this journey. We are all fellow travelers, united by the shared desire to transcend our limitations and to rise above the noise of a chaotic world. As you listen to these words, let them resonate deep within your soul. Let them serve as a reminder that every challenge is an opportunity. Every moment of discomfort is a lesson, and every step you take is a victory over the tyranny of overthinking. Together, we are creating a movement rooted in Stoic philosophy, driven by the quest for inner freedom and fueled by the belief that a life of true purpose is within our reach. As the echoes of ancient wisdom mingle with the vibrant energy of today's world, I invite you to revisit this message whenever you feel the grip of overthinking tighten around your heart. Let it serve as a beacon, guiding you back to the path of clarity and determination. In moments of doubt, recall the lessons learned from the Stoics, their unwavering belief in the power of reason, their steadfast commitment to virtue, and their ability to find serenity amidst chaos. It is this legacy that we honor today. And it is this legacy that can transform your life if you are willing to embrace it fully. Before we conclude this journey together, I want to share one final thought, a challenge to yourself that will serve as a lasting reminder of your commitment to change. Tonight, as you lay your head to rest, take a few moments to reflect on all that you have experienced. Ask yourself, what is the one action I can take tomorrow that will move me closer to the life I desire? Whether it is the decision to wake up an hour earlier to meditate, the choice to write down your thoughts in a journal, or the simple act of stepping outside to feel the embrace of nature. Make that choice with conviction. In doing so, you are not only breaking free from overthinking, but you are also forging a path to a life of meaning, resilience, and boundless possibility. I want you to remember that this journey is not about perfection, it is about progress. Every step, every moment of self-reflection, is a testament to your willingness to grow and to evolve. Overthinking may have once been a formidable barrier, but today, with the guidance of Stoic wisdom and the unyielding spirit of determination, you are taking control of your narrative. As you move forward, know that the power to transform your life lies within you. Embrace it, nurture it, and let it shine as a beacon for all who seek freedom from the relentless grip of overthinking. In closing, let us celebrate the extraordinary potential that resides in each of us. Together, we have uncovered the secrets of Stoic practices that not only liberate us from the chaos of overthinking but also empower us to live with intention, courage, and unshakable inner peace. I invite you to share this journey with others, to spread the message of Stoicism and resilience far and wide. Let your life become a living testament to the power of thoughtful reflection and disciplined action. a testament that will inspire generations to come. As you carry these words in your heart, remember that every day is an opportunity to choose freedom over fear, clarity over confusion, and purpose over passivity. The path may be long and fraught with challenges, but with each step, you are moving closer to a life defined not by overthinking, but by the steadfast, resolute spirit of Stoic wisdom. I am honored to have shared this transformative journey with you, and I believe with all my heart that the power to change your life is already within you. Embrace it, celebrate it, and let your story be a shining example of how 10 powerful Stoic practices can free you from overthinking forever. Now, as the final light of day fades into a serene dusk, let these words echo in the chambers of your soul, that you are the master of your thoughts, the captain of your destiny, and the architect of your inner peace. In every moment of doubt, in every surge of overthinking, return to this truth and find solace in the profound wisdom that has guided countless seekers before you. This is our call to action, a call to rise above the mundane and to claim the extraordinary life that awaits us all. Let the timeless teachings of Stoicism illuminate your path and lead you to a future where your mind is as calm and resilient as the ancient philosophers who came before us. I leave you with this challenge. Wake up tomorrow with the determination to practice one of these Stoic techniques. Observe the power of your mind as you let go of unnecessary worries. Replace them with gratitude, and allow the natural rhythm of life to guide you. Every moment is a chance to rewrite your story, a story of courage, resilience, and ultimately, freedom from overthinking. And as you embark on this daily journey, know that I am with you, cheering you on every step of the way. Together, we will build a community rooted in Stoic wisdom, where each soul is empowered to face life's challenges with grace and determination, and where overthinking is but a distant memory replaced by the vibrant energy of a focused, purposeful life. Let these powerful Stoic practices be the foundation of a new beginning, one where you no longer let the clutter of your thoughts obscure the brilliance of your inner light. Embrace the discipline, harness the wisdom, and step boldly into a future where you are free, not just from overthinking, but from any limitation that dares to stand in the way of your true potential. I believe in you, and I know that together, we can transform our lives into a living testament to the enduring strength of Stoic philosophy. Now, go forth with courage, determination, and an unyielding commitment to living a life of profound clarity and boundless purpose. Thank you for joining me on this incredible journey. May the timeless insights of Stoicism guide you. May the lessons of discipline and gratitude fortify you. And may your heart always remain open to the boundless possibilities that await when you free yourself from overthinking forever. Seven powerful Stoic reading techniques to retain more, think clearer, and transform your knowledge. I remember a moment on a cold, windswept morning when the world seemed to pause, as if nature itself was inviting me to reflect on life's deeper truths. In that silent instant, I felt an overwhelming clarity, a piercing insight that the chaos around me was merely an opportunity to discover inner strength and wisdom. It was in that moment I realized that the ancient art of reading could be transformed into a powerful tool for personal evolution. Today, I invite you, my friend, to join me on an extraordinary journey where we explore 7 powerful Stoic reading techniques designed to help you retain more, think clearer, and transform your knowledge. Imagine standing on the precipice of a vast library of timeless wisdom, where every page beckons you to dive deeper into the essence of Stoic philosophy. Much like the great Stoics of old who believed that every hardship carried the seed of virtue and growth. Let me begin with the first technique, mindful immersion. I still recall the day I sat by a quiet stream, its waters murmuring softly as they cascaded over smooth stones, and I opened a book of Stoic teachings. In that serene setting, I discovered that reading is far more than a passive activity, it is a meditative journey. When we approach a text with complete presence, we allow its meaning to seep into our consciousness like sunlight warming the soul. I encourage you to take a deep breath, set aside the distractions of modern life, and immerse yourself fully in the words on the page. Ask yourself, what is this text whispering to me in the stillness? How can I let its wisdom guide me through the turbulent currents of life? In embracing mindful immersion, we transform our reading sessions into sacred rituals that not only nurture our intellect but also our spirit, grounding us in the eternal truths of Stoic philosophy. As we continue this exploration, the second technique reveals itself: reflective annotation. Picture yourself with a pen in hand, pausing after each profound sentence to jot down your thoughts, impressions, and questions. This act of writing is not merely about marking a page. It is a dynamic dialogue between you and the ancient masters, Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, Epictetus, whose words echo through time. With each note, you are actively engaging in a conversation that challenges you to distill and internalize the essence of Stoic wisdom. Reflective annotation invites you to question: how does this idea resonate with my own experiences? What new insights emerge when I relate these timeless teachings to the modern challenges I face? In this way, every underline and margin note becomes a stepping stone toward a clearer, more resilient state of mind. It is a practice that transforms reading into a living, breathing exchange of ideas, an ongoing journey of self-discovery and intellectual fortification. The third technique, visualization, takes us even deeper into the realm of imagination. Close your eyes for a moment and envision the words on the page transforming into vivid images that dance before your eyes. Each sentence becomes a brushstroke painting a scene of steadfast oaks weathering fierce storms or ancient warriors standing tall in the face of adversity. Visualization converts abstract concepts into tangible symbols that anchor you in reality, making the wisdom of the Stoics not just something you read, but something you see and feel within. When you encounter a passage about resilience, let your mind conjure the image of a mountain, immovable and resolute, its peak piercing the heavens despite the relentless winds. This mental imagery reinforces the lessons you learn, ensuring that they are etched deeply into your memory. As you continue to visualize, ask yourself, how can these images inspire me to confront my own challenges with courage and determination? By embracing this technique, you transform the act of reading into an immersive experience that ignites both your intellect and your imagination. Moving forward, the fourth technique that underpins our journey is contextual analysis. I vividly recall a time when I was reading about the impermanence of life, a central tenet of Stoic thought, and suddenly the words began to take on layers of meaning that transcended the page. I realized that every Stoic text is not an isolated collection of ideas but part of a broader tapestry woven from historical events, cultural shifts, and personal experiences. Contextual analysis urges you to step back and consider the world in which these writings were born. Ask yourself, what historical circumstances shaped this philosophy? How did the struggles of ancient societies influence their perspectives on fate, virtue, and resilience? By delving into the context behind the text, you unlock hidden insights that enrich your understanding and allow you to apply these lessons more effectively in your own life. It is a process of connecting the dots between past and present, illuminating how the challenges faced by our Stoic forebears mirror the trials we encounter today. This technique not only enhances your retention of knowledge but also deepens your appreciation for the enduring relevance of Stoic philosophy. The journey grows even more compelling with the introduction of the fifth technique, active questioning. Imagine sitting across from a wise elder who challenges every notion you hold dear, compelling you to think deeply about the nature of virtue, happiness, and human resilience. Active questioning transforms your reading into an engaging dialogue, an intellectual sparring match where every question you pose propels you closer to truth. As you digest the words of the Stoics, let your curiosity lead you. Ask, why is it that these ancient principles continue to hold such power in our modern lives? What is the true essence of wisdom, and how can it be harnessed to overcome fear and uncertainty? Through active questioning, you not only dissect the text but also reconstruct its teachings in a way that resonates with your personal journey. Each inquiry is a catalyst for deeper reflection, pushing you to challenge your assumptions and to discover the boundless potential within your own mind. This technique is a call to arms, a reminder that the pursuit of knowledge is not a passive endeavor but an active, ever-evolving process of exploration and self-improvement. The sixth technique, intertextual connections, invites you to step beyond the confines of a single work and to explore the rich interplay between various sources of wisdom. I recall the exhilaration of reading a passage that echoed sentiments I had encountered in a completely different text, a moment when disparate ideas converged to reveal a universal truth. Intertextual connections encourage you to draw parallels between Stoic writings and other influential works in philosophy, literature, history, and even modern psychology. When you begin to weave these connections, you build a mental network of insights that transcends time and discipline. Consider how the themes of endurance, simplicity, and virtue recur across cultures and epochs, reinforcing the idea that true wisdom is universal. Ask yourself, how do the teachings of Epictetus resonate with contemporary ideas about mental health? What lessons can I learn by comparing the insights of Seneca with modern approaches to overcoming adversity? By bridging these textual worlds, you create a mosaic of knowledge that is both robust and multidimensional, a true testament to the transformative power of reading. Finally, we arrive at the seventh and most vital technique, practical application. All the wisdom in the world is rendered moot if it remains confined to the pages of a book. I vividly remember a turning point in my life when I decided to put theory into practice, when I resolved not only to read about Stoicism but to embody its principles in every action, every decision, every moment of my life. Practical application means transforming the insights you have gained into concrete actions that shape your destiny. It is the process of internalizing what you have learned so deeply that it begins to inform your daily habits, your responses to adversity, and your interactions with the world around you. I challenge you to ask, what changes can I make in my life today that reflect the wisdom of these Stoic teachings? Perhaps it means starting your day with a moment of meditation, journaling your reflections after reading, or confronting a difficult situation with calm, measured resolve. This is the ultimate test of your commitment to growth, the moment when knowledge becomes action and theory gives way to practice. Embracing practical application is not always easy. It requires courage, discipline, and a willingness to confront your own shortcomings. Yet, it is precisely through these challenges that you will discover the full transformative power of Stoic philosophy. As we weave these techniques together, a magnificent tapestry of wisdom unfolds, a tapestry that is as vibrant as it is enduring. I want you to feel the stirring of transformation deep within your heart as you contemplate the immense power of Stoicism to reshape your life. We live in an era of relentless distractions and fleeting trends, yet the ancient wisdom of the Stoics stands as a beacon of clarity and strength amid the noise. Each of the 7 powerful Stoic reading techniques we have explored today is a tool, a key to unlocking a deeper, more resilient version of yourself. When you engage in mindful immersion, you slow down and allow the beauty of each word to resonate with your soul. Through reflective annotation, you capture fleeting insights and transform them into lasting truths. With visualization, you create vivid images that anchor the abstract into the tangible. Contextual analysis opens your eyes to the rich interplay of history and philosophy, while active questioning fuels an insatiable curiosity that propels you forward. Intertextual connections invite you to see beyond the boundaries of a single text, and practical application challenges you to live the wisdom you have acquired. I urge you, my friend, to take these techniques to heart and integrate them into your daily life. In moments of solitude, when the world outside seems overwhelming, let the teachings of Stoic philosophy be your guide, a steady, unwavering light that illuminates your path. Reflect on the times when you have felt lost or adrift, and consider how these techniques might have anchored your thoughts, providing clarity and purpose. What if, instead of being swept away by the torrent of modern distractions, you learned to harness the power of mindful reading to cultivate a focused, resilient mind? Imagine the transformation that could occur if every book you read, every passage you ponder, became a stepping stone toward a life defined by wisdom and inner strength. I often ask myself, what is the true purpose of reading? Is it simply to accumulate facts? Or is it to transform our very being? I believe that the act of reading, when approached with intention and reverence, has the power to revolutionize our lives. It is not enough to merely skim the surface of a text. We must dive deep, question relentlessly, and connect the wisdom of the past with the challenges of the present. This is the essence of Stoicism, a philosophy that teaches us to find meaning in every experience, to extract lessons from every setback, and to transform adversity into opportunity. Through these 7 powerful Stoic reading techniques, you are invited to embark on a journey of self-discovery, one that will not only enhance your intellectual capacity but also fortify your spirit against the inevitable storms of life. I want you to picture a scenario. It's early morning. The world is still shrouded in a gentle mist, and you are sitting in a quiet corner with your favorite book of Stoic writings. The only sound is the soft rustle of pages turning as you read, each word carrying with it the weight of centuries of wisdom. In that sacred space, you feel a profound connection to something greater than yourself, a timeless dialogue between the past and the present, a conversation that transcends the boundaries of time and place. Here, in this intimate moment of reflection, you engage with the text not as a passive observer, but as an active participant in the eternal quest for truth. You write down your thoughts, visualize the lessons unfolding before your mind's eye, and ask the hard questions that challenge your deepest assumptions. This is not just reading, it is a transformative act of self-creation, a daily ritual that empowers you to become the architect of your own destiny. Consider the ancient Stoics, who faced tremendous hardships and yet managed to find beauty and meaning in every experience. They understood that the true value of knowledge lies not in its mere accumulation, but in its ability to shape our character and guide our actions. When you practice these reading techniques, you honor that legacy. You join a community of seekers, people from all walks of life who are determined to rise above the trivialities of everyday existence and strive for something far greater. And in doing so, you discover that each moment spent in reflection is an investment in your future, a step toward a life filled with clarity, purpose, and unyielding resilience. I know that in our modern world, where notifications, social media, and constant distractions threaten to erode our focus, committing to a disciplined reading practice can seem like a radical act. Yet, it is precisely this act of rebellion against mediocrity that defines the Stoic spirit. By choosing to immerse yourself in meaningful texts, by annotating your thoughts and visualizing the profound lessons within, you are making a bold statement that you value depth over superficiality, wisdom over fleeting trends, and transformation over complacency. This commitment is not without its challenges, but it is through facing those challenges head-on that you cultivate the inner fortitude necessary to navigate life's uncertainties. I invite you now to reflect deeply. What legacy do you wish to create? How do you want your mind to evolve and your soul to grow? Each of the techniques we have discussed today offers you a pathway toward that legacy, a way to transform the simple act of reading into a profound journey of self-improvement and enlightenment. As you turn each page, as you scribble your reflections in a journal, as you allow your imagination to conjure vivid scenes of resilience and strength, remember that you are not merely consuming information. You are forging a connection with the very essence of human experience. You are embracing a philosophy that has withstood the test of time and continues to offer solace, guidance, and inspiration to those who seek it. Let me leave you with a final thought that encapsulates the heart of our journey together. Every word you read, every insight you gain, is a spark that, when nurtured by disciplined practice and unwavering curiosity, can ignite a fire of transformation within you. In those moments when you feel overwhelmed by life's relentless pace, remember the power of these 7 powerful Stoic reading techniques. Let them remind you that true wisdom is not a destination but a continuous journey, a journey marked by mindful immersion, reflective annotation, vivid visualization, contextual analysis, active questioning, intertextual connections, and the bold act of practical application. As we stand at this crossroads of ancient philosophy and modern existence, I urge you to seize this moment with both hands. Embrace the clarity that comes from disciplined reading, the inner strength that arises from questioning and reflection, and the unshakable resolve that is born from putting wisdom into practice. This is our time to transform not only our minds but our lives, to rise above the clamor of everyday distractions, and to build a future where resilience, virtue, and clarity reign supreme. I am honored to have shared this journey with you today, and I am inspired by the boundless potential I see within you. Together, we can turn every challenge into an opportunity, every setback into a stepping stone, and every word into a catalyst for profound personal growth. The path ahead is illuminated by the light of Stoic wisdom, and it beckons you to step forward with courage, determination, and a heart full of hope. Let these 7 powerful Stoic reading techniques guide you as you embark on a lifelong quest for knowledge, clarity, and transformation. Embrace them as tools to sculpt your mind, fuel your dreams, and build a legacy of resilience and purpose. So, my friend, as you set forth on this extraordinary adventure, remember that the power to transform your life lies not in the fleeting allure of modern distractions, but in the enduring wisdom of the Stoics and the transformative act of thoughtful reading. Let every book you open be a doorway to a richer, more vibrant existence. Let every reflection you pen be a testament to your commitment to growth. And above all, let every moment of clarity inspire you to become the best version of yourself, a version defined by courage, wisdom, and an unbreakable spirit. This is the promise of Stoic philosophy, that within each of us lies the capacity to overcome, to endure, and to flourish amidst adversity. By adopting these techniques, you are not only enriching your mind with knowledge but also cultivating a resilient soul ready to face the uncertainties of life with calm determination. I invite you to join me in this timeless pursuit, one that transcends the boundaries of the mundane and elevates us to a realm where every thought, every word, and every action is a deliberate step toward a future of clarity, strength, and infinite possibility. Now, as we close this chapter of our shared journey, I leave you with one final, powerful challenge. Commit to this path of intentional reading and let the wisdom of the Stoics guide you every day. Reflect on the insights that have touched your heart, question the assumptions that no longer serve you, and build intertextual bridges that connect the lessons of the past with the aspirations of your future. In doing so, you will not only retain more and think clearer, but you will also transform your knowledge into a living, breathing force that propels you toward a life of purpose and lasting impact. This is your moment to shine, to transform, and to become a beacon of resilience and wisdom in a world that so desperately needs it. Embrace these 7 powerful Stoic reading techniques and let them be the foundation upon which you build a legacy of enduring strength and enlightened thought. Together, we can rise above the transient challenges of today and create a future where every page turned is a step toward a more meaningful, thoughtful, and extraordinary life. Let us embark on this journey with passion and conviction, knowing that each technique is a key unlocking the vast potential within us all. Welcome to a transformative adventure, one that begins with the simple act of reading and unfolds into a lifelong pursuit of wisdom, clarity, and unwavering resilience. 10 Stoic secrets to sharpen your mind and skyrocket your intelligence. Today, I invite you on a journey of transformation, discovery, and awakening, where we explore the profound teachings of Stoicism combined with a modern drive to excel. Picture yourself standing on the edge of a vast ocean during a fierce storm. The winds howl, and the rain pelts your face as you seek shelter beneath an ancient oak. In that turbulent moment, as chaos swirled all around, I experienced a profound clarity, a realization that the storm outside was mirroring the storms within. It was in that crucible of adversity that I discovered the first of many Stoic secrets. Every challenge we encounter is not a curse but a powerful opportunity to cultivate resilience and build inner strength. When life's tempests rage, I challenge you not to cower but to embrace the struggle. For it is through adversity that our mind sharpens and our intelligence soars. We all have moments when the weight of the world seems unbearable. And it is precisely in these moments that the wisdom of ancient Stoicism shines brightest. The first secret is to view every hardship as a stepping stone toward enlightenment. I urge you to recall a time when life's obstacles left you feeling defeated. Instead of allowing that setback to define you, consider how it might have been a necessary lesson in self-discipline and personal growth. By choosing to see these moments as invitations for transformation, you empower your mind to evolve. Our journey begins with this simple yet profound insight. Adversity is not our enemy. It is the raw material from which strength and wisdom are forged. The second secret is to develop a deep self-awareness. In our modern lives, overwhelmed by constant stimuli and distractions, it becomes all too easy to lose sight of our inner voice. I have often found that the power to control our emotions and thoughts is the true key to mental clarity. Imagine standing before a mirror that reflects not just your outer appearance but the inner workings of your soul. What do you see? Are you in control of your emotions? Or are they dictating your every move? By taking time each day to pause, reflect, and truly observe our inner selves, we learn to navigate the chaos with a clear, focused mind. This practice of mindfulness, a cornerstone of Stoic philosophy, allows us to break free from the tyranny of our baser impulses and cultivate a mental state that is both resilient and sharp. Have you ever wondered how much more powerful your mind could be if you simply took a moment to observe its inner workings? As we move forward, the third secret reveals itself: the transformative power of perspective. Life's challenges often seem insurmountable when viewed through the narrow lens of immediate pain or frustration. However, Stoicism teaches us to reframe these obstacles as opportunities for growth. I recall a time when a significant setback left me questioning my path, only to later discover that the experience had equipped me with a deeper understanding of my true potential. By shifting our perspective, we turn every failure into a lesson and every struggle into an invaluable teacher. What if every obstacle you faced was not a dead end but a signpost guiding you to a higher state of being? This change in mindset can revolutionize your approach to life, empowering you to transform setbacks into the fuel that propels you forward. The fourth secret is the art of intentional action. In a world brimming with distractions, our energy is often scattered, and our actions become reactive rather than purposeful. I challenge you to embrace a life of deliberate intention, where every decision is guided by your core values and long-term goals. I remember a period in my life when I decided to eliminate trivial distractions and dedicate myself to a routine of disciplined practice, moments of quiet reflection, focused work, and mindful living. The result was nothing short of transformative. Each day became a canvas on which I painted a life filled with purpose and clarity. By living intentionally, you not only sharpen your mind but also create a roadmap that leads to true intelligence and inner peace. How different would your life be if each action you took was infused with clear purpose and mindful intent? The fifth secret, and perhaps one of the most liberating, is the acceptance of what we cannot control. In our quest for a sharper mind and boundless intelligence, we often fall into the trap of trying to micromanage every aspect of our lives. Yet, as the Stoics remind us, many things lie beyond our sphere of influence. I once spent countless hours fretting over outcomes that were simply not within my control, only to find myself exhausted and disheartened. The breakthrough came when I embraced the Stoic principle that our true power lies in our ability to control our responses, not external events. By releasing the futile urge to command the uncontrollable, I discovered a profound sense of freedom and focus. Ask yourself, what burdens might you let go of if you recognized that your true power lies solely in your inner world? This acceptance is not surrender but a strategic focus on what you can change. And in doing so, you unlock the door to unshakable mental clarity. The sixth secret is the cultivation of gratitude. It may seem counterintuitive to practice gratitude during times of hardship, but I have learned that it is precisely in those challenging moments that gratitude becomes a beacon of light. I recall a particularly harsh winter when every day felt like a battle against cold and despair. Yet, amidst the bleakness, I found solace in the simple act of giving thanks, thanking the small joys, a warm meal, a kind gesture, or the beauty of a snowy landscape. This practice transformed my outlook, imbuing me with a sense of abundance and clarity that elevated my thinking and sharpened my mind. Gratitude is a powerful tool. It not only softens the blows of adversity but also opens our eyes to the hidden blessings woven into the fabric of everyday life. Imagine starting your day with a heart full of gratitude. How might that transform your perspective and propel your intelligence to new heights? The seventh secret is the relentless pursuit of wisdom. In an age where information is at our fingertips, it is easy to mistake the accumulation of facts for true wisdom. However, as the Stoics have taught us, wisdom is a deep, practical understanding of life's principles, a quality that cannot be measured merely by the volume of knowledge. I have spent countless nights poring over ancient texts and engaging in reflective discussions, each moment deepening my understanding of the world and my place in it. The journey to wisdom is lifelong and requires humility, curiosity, and a willingness to learn from every experience. I challenge you to seek wisdom not for the sake of appearing intelligent, but to enrich your soul and refine your judgment. What insights await you if you commit yourself to a daily quest for deeper understanding and truth? The eighth secret centers on the discipline of self-mastery. True self-mastery is not an end in itself but the continuous, deliberate effort to govern your thoughts, emotions, and actions. I have encountered many moments in my life when my impulses threatened to derail my progress. But it was through the rigorous practice of self-discipline that I learned to harness those raw emotions and channel them toward productive ends. Think of self-mastery as the training ground for your mind, a place where every small act of discipline reinforces your inner strength and sharpens your intellectual acuity. Just as an athlete trains relentlessly to excel in their sport, so too must we train our minds to remain steadfast in the face of adversity. What small habit could you introduce today that would help you build greater self-control and clarity of thought? The ninth secret is the embrace of solitude and reflection. In the ceaseless buzz of modern life, moments of quiet introspection are more precious than ever. I have often retreated to serene places, a quiet room, a secluded spot in nature, where the silence allowed me to tune into the subtle whispers of my inner self. In those moments of solitude, free from external distractions, I discovered insights that reshaped my perspective and fueled my personal growth. Solitude is not synonymous with loneliness. It is a sacred space where your mind can wander, explore, and ultimately find clarity. Consider how your life might change if you regularly set aside time to simply be with your thoughts. What revelations might surface if you allowed yourself the luxury of quiet reflection? The 10th and final secret is the unwavering commitment to continuous improvement. In the realm of Stoic philosophy, there is no final destination, only a perpetual journey of self-discovery, learning, and growth. I have always believed that every day offers a fresh opportunity to become a better version of ourselves. This mindset of relentless progress is what fuels true intelligence and mental acuity. Whether it is refining a skill, learning from a mistake, or simply striving to be kinder and more thoughtful, each small improvement compounds over time to create a profound transformation in your life. Reflect on your daily routines and ask yourself, what can I do today that will make me a little wiser, a little stronger, or a little more resilient than I was yesterday? In embracing continuous improvement, you set the stage for a life that not only endures the tests of time but flourishes with each new challenge. Let me share a personal story that embodies these Stoic secrets. There was a time when I faced what appeared to be an insurmountable challenge, a project that demanded every ounce of mental energy, creativity, and discipline I possessed. The pressure was immense, and the fear of failure loomed large. In that critical moment, I sought refuge in the practices of mindfulness and self-reflection, grounding myself in the very principles of Stoic philosophy. I remember sitting alone in a quiet room, the world outside fading away as I turned inward. Slowly, the chaos in my mind began to settle, and I started to see patterns and insights emerging from the turmoil. This period of introspection revealed to me that true intelligence is not born of frantic activity but from the stillness that allows clarity to emerge. That day, I learned that the power to overcome any obstacle lay not in controlling every external event, but in mastering my own inner world. Every day when we wake up to face a world full of uncertainties, we have a fresh opportunity to apply these timeless Stoic secrets. I often ask myself, what if every challenge is an invitation to evolve? This question has become a guiding force in my daily life, a constant reminder that each setback carries within it the seeds of transformation. Whether it is the frustration of a failed plan or the bitterness of a personal loss, every experience has the potential to enrich our understanding and elevate our minds. Imagine if we all approached life with such an empowering mindset, seeing every obstacle not as a barrier, but as a gateway to deeper insight and personal growth. This perspective, rooted in Stoic wisdom, can fundamentally change the way you approach challenges and ultimately lead you to a state of enhanced mental clarity and boundless intelligence. I recall another instance that transformed my understanding of failure and success. There was a period when a significant setback left me questioning my abilities and purpose. I found myself sitting on a park bench, watching people go about their lives, each absorbed in their own journeys. In that reflective moment, I realized that my definition of success had been too narrowly focused on external validations and fleeting achievements. The timeless wisdom of Stoicism gently reminded me that true success is measured by how we grow through adversity. I learned that every fall is a chance to rise with renewed strength and every misstep a valuable lesson in the art of living. This shift in perspective enabled me to reclaim my inner power and refocus my energy on what truly mattered. I now invite you to consider, how might your life change if you viewed every setback as a vital part of your journey toward wisdom and resilience? In our fast-paced world, where distractions are constant and superficial pursuits abound, the importance of intentional action cannot be overstated. I remember a time when I deliberately removed extraneous distractions from my life, cutting out unnecessary noise and devoting myself to purposeful, mindful practices. This intentional shift not only sharpened my focus but also brought a clarity and sense of direction that I had never experienced before. Living with intention means aligning your daily actions with your core values and long-term goals. And it is a practice that Stoic philosophy champions. Imagine waking up each day with a clear purpose. Your every action a deliberate step toward realizing your highest potential. What small changes could you make today to ensure that every moment is lived with clear intent and mindful presence? One of the most liberating lessons I learned was the acceptance of what I could not control. I used to spend hours worrying about outcomes and circumstances beyond my influence, which left me drained and frustrated. Then, I encountered the powerful Stoic teaching that our energy is best spent on controlling our own reactions rather than external events. By embracing this principle, I freed myself from the burden of trying to manage the uncontrollable and instead channeled my efforts towards self-improvement and inner peace. This shift in mindset has allowed me to navigate life's unpredictable nature with a calm, focused mind. Consider for a moment what might happen if you shifted your focus from trying to control every external factor to mastering your inner responses. How liberating would it be to invest your energy in areas where you can truly make a difference? Gratitude, too, plays a crucial role in our journey toward a sharper mind and greater intelligence. Even in the midst of hardship, when life seems unbearably challenging, a practice of genuine gratitude can transform your perspective. I remember a particularly harsh winter when every day felt like an endless struggle against the cold and despair. Yet, I made it a point to appreciate the small comforts: a steaming cup of tea, a warm blanket, a kind smile from a stranger. Over time, this simple act of gratitude shifted my focus from what I lacked to the abundance that surrounded me. This renewed outlook not only lightened my emotional load but also sharpened my mind, allowing me to see opportunities and solutions that had previously been obscured by negativity. Imagine the transformative effect on your life if you began each day by acknowledging even the smallest blessings. How might that practice unlock new levels of clarity and intelligence? The pursuit of wisdom is perhaps the most lifelong and rewarding of all endeavors. In our information-rich era, it is easy to mistake the collection of facts for genuine wisdom. Yet, the Stoics teach us that true wisdom is a deep, lived understanding of the principles that govern our existence. I have often spent nights immersed in ancient texts, not just reading but contemplating their meaning and relevance in my own life. These quiet hours of study and reflection have enriched my understanding and provided me with insights that continue to guide me in times of uncertainty. I encourage you to adopt a similar practice. Dedicate time each day to exploring new ideas, questioning assumptions, and expanding your intellectual horizons. What new perspectives might you gain if you made the pursuit of wisdom a central part of your daily routine? Self-mastery, the art of governing one's thoughts, emotions, and actions, is another cornerstone of the Stoic path. I have faced moments when impulsive reactions threatened to derail my progress. Yet it was through deliberate, disciplined practice that I learned to harness these emotions and channel them productively. Imagine the power of a mind that remains composed and resilient even in the most trying circumstances. Self-mastery is not achieved overnight, it is the result of continuous, incremental efforts to understand and control your inner world. I challenge you to identify one small habit that can improve your self-discipline. Whether it's taking a few deep breaths before reacting or setting aside time each day for meditation, These small changes can accumulate, eventually forming the foundation of a mind that is both sharp and unbreakable. Solitude and reflection have often been my sanctuaries in a noisy world. In the quiet moments away from the relentless pace of modern life, I discovered an inner reservoir of creativity and insight. There is a certain magic in being alone with your thoughts, a space where the mind can explore its deepest truths without distraction. I encourage you to seek out such moments. Whether it's a quiet walk in nature, a meditative silence at dawn, or simply a few minutes of uninterrupted time at home, what might you discover about yourself if you allowed yourself the luxury of solitude? The answers, I promise, are both enlightening and transformative. Finally, continuous improvement is the engine that drives the Stoic way of life. There is no endpoint in the journey to sharpen your mind and elevate your intelligence. It is an ongoing process of growth and self-discovery. I have witnessed, both in my own life and in the lives of others, how a commitment to constant progress can yield extraordinary results. Whether it is mastering a new skill, refining your daily habits, or adopting a fresh perspective on old challenges, every step forward contributes to a legacy of resilience and wisdom. Ask yourself, what one small improvement can I make today that will have a ripple effect on my future? Embrace the idea that every day is an opportunity to become just a little bit better than you were yesterday. And let that belief propel you toward unimaginable heights. Reflecting on these 10 Stoic secrets, embracing challenges, cultivating self-awareness, shifting perspective, living intentionally, accepting the uncontrollable, nurturing gratitude, pursuing wisdom, mastering self-discipline, valuing solitude, and committing to continuous improvement, I realize that they are more than just abstract ideas. They are practical tools that can be woven into the fabric of our daily lives, empowering us to transform adversity into opportunity and ordinary moments into catalysts for extraordinary growth. Each of these principles is interdependent, supporting and reinforcing the others, creating a comprehensive blueprint for a life marked by resilience, clarity, and intellectual vibrancy. Let me share one final thought from my own journey. There was a time when I found myself at a crossroads, overwhelmed by the challenges of life and uncertain of the path ahead. In that moment of vulnerability, I remembered the Stoic teachings that had guided me through countless storms. I recalled the lessons of embracing adversity, the power of self-reflection, and the liberating truth of accepting what I could not change. With these insights, I stepped forward into the unknown with courage and determination, trusting that each step, no matter how small, was a vital part of a grander journey toward wisdom and self-mastery. That experience reshaped my understanding of intelligence, not as a static accumulation of knowledge, but as a dynamic, ever-evolving state of mind that grows stronger in the face of challenge. As you reflect on these teachings, I invite you to integrate them into your own life. Share your journey with friends, family, or anyone seeking a path to a clearer, more resilient mind. Explore the resources available in the description below, links to ancient texts, modern interpretations of Stoic philosophy, and practical guides that can help you on your journey toward mental excellence. Together, we can create a community of individuals who are committed to not just surviving the challenges of life, but thriving through them with a wisdom that is both ancient and urgently modern. Before we part, consider this. What if every moment of struggle in your life is an invitation to become stronger, wiser, and more capable than you ever imagined? What if the very obstacles you face are the building blocks of an intelligence that is as profound as it is resilient? I believe that by embracing these 10 Stoic secrets, you can transform your life from one of reactive existence to one of deliberate, enlightened purpose. Your mind, when nurtured with self-awareness, gratitude, and a commitment to continuous growth, has the power to soar beyond the confines of ordinary thinking. Thank you for joining me on this deep exploration of Stoic wisdom, a journey where ancient teachings meet modern determination to create a life of extraordinary mental clarity and resilience. As you step forward, remember that you are not alone. We are all travelers on this path, bound by the timeless truths of Stoic philosophy and driven by the desire to sharpen our minds and elevate our intelligence. Embrace the challenges, nurture your inner strength, and let the light of ancient wisdom guide you through every storm. Together, we can unlock the true potential that lies within us, transforming each hardship into a stepping stone toward a brighter, more enlightened future. Now, as you move on with your day, carry these stoic secrets in your heart. Let them be the compass that directs your actions, the calm in your storm, and the fire that fuels your relentless pursuit of growth and wisdom. I believe in your ability to rise above every challenge, to find clarity in every moment of chaos, and to create a legacy of strength, resilience, and brilliance that will inspire others. This is not just a call to action, it is an invitation to transform your life and to become the best, most empowered version of yourself. So, my friends, as you journey forward, ask yourself, how will you harness these timeless principles to create a future where your mind is sharp, your spirit is unbreakable, and your intelligence knows no bounds? The choice is yours, and the power lies within you. Embrace these stoic secrets, live with intention, and let every moment be a testament to the strength and wisdom that reside in your very soul. Thank you for being here with me today. May the wisdom of the Stoics, the clarity of self-reflection, and the courage to accept and overcome guide you on every step of your journey. Go forth, sharpen your mind, and let your intelligence soar to heights you never thought possible. Remember, every challenge is an opportunity, every moment a lesson, and every day a new chance to become the extraordinary individual you were always meant to be.